When I walk in the club, all access when I walk in the club.
Those medical pills all push me over. I kill my fill 3 times a day. These ethanol fumes won't make me sober. One flame to take the pain away. I caught you lighting matches in the back room. Haters look mad when they pass you. Let's talk about round when it's past due. Reach a glass, do no. You don't gotta fight alone. Alone. You don't gotta fight alone. Alone. Don't be so personal. Take me out of the everyone's seen death in their dreams, but we still wake up and go to sleep. Everyone's seen death in their dreams, but we still wake up from our sleep.
Hang on. How you guys doing today? Hope you're having a good afternoon. It is Tuesday, and I can't hear myself. Hang on. There we go. Now I can hear myself. It is Tuesday. I hope you are all having a good Tuesday. We are blessed briefly with the cat. He's leaving now, though. He's done. He's like, oh, man, this guy's... He does not want to partake in this at all. Okay, though. It's okay, though. He's probably going to go over there. We'll have a cat stream a little later. You know, when he's just sleepy and lets me pet him. But for now, we're doing Snowbreak. We're gonna try to get through I think it was chapter 13 part 1 is what we're doing. Chapter 13 part 1. I'm trying to plow through these as quickly as I possibly can while still getting the full story, because we got the limited time stuff that we have to do. And I think we've only got like 20 something days to do it now. So, but it's story related content, so I feel like I can't just skip the regular chapters. Especially since I'm fairly certain that what we're dealing with right now is going to be important to the limited edition chapters. I think this one, Beyond Elysium.
Infiltration success. Adjutant, surprised.
This is still my all-time
You knew all
favorite
along?
intro.
Wow, you're incredible.
Wow. I cannot I cannot get over that. That is 100% the best introduction of any character. Like, there are other characters that you could do, but I actually really like that outfit too. 29 days. So, and I'll probably do the mini games on my own just because they're not story related and they're really easy to do. Yep, 29 days, so it says. But this story right here, this thing, we gotta wait. Because I'm fairly certain what happens here is actually in New Hentiro. So we gotta do Suspense in Skytopia. There might be like one more after this. The Shuojo. We did all of these. 100%. 100%. 100%. And then there's this one. We're gonna do this. I'm fairly certain Marianne was just kidnapped. So we left at a very suspenseful moment. How many is there here? So we got up here. Did we? That's unlocked. So we gotta unlock progress 4. Then we can hit file 1. This. I don't know where we go after that. It's all covered in like a fog of war. Alright, but we will be doing this one first. Before we do this, I'm gonna get my coffee. I'll be right back. Also, welcome Tin Can. Alright, coffee's here. I'll put that right there. Right there. Where I can reach it. I need my caffeine. Alright. So, we're starting. Here we go. Before pushing open the door and walking in, I took one last look at the New Hentiro sky. It was clear and blue. The kind of blue that brought people happiness from the bottom of their hearts. But I knew it was all fake. At that moment, its true appearance should have been gray, swallowed up by chaotic, looming storm clouds, and paired with faint thunder. In a way, my expression, emotions, and even circumstances were similar to this sky. I reached up to wipe away the cold sweat collecting on my forehead and the back of my neck, then slapped my own cheeks to wake myself up. It's all right. I have been able to maintain it so far. This is obviously something very important right here, because it's orange. Then, I walked into Rosani's bar. Uh-oh. Oh, back so soon? Is that girl okay? She was the only one in the massive tavern, and all of the lights in the main area were off. Only the dim, ambient lights at the bar and the outline of the liquor cabinets illuminated the surroundings. She stood behind the bar, completely relaxed and bathed in ambiguous light and shadow as she examined the 2 bottles in her hand. I didn't plan on responding. I simply moved closer to the bar. When I pulled a chair over and sat down, she had seemingly made up her mind. I'll have the one in your left hand. The Pretoria, with some ice and ginger juice, please. I interrupted her before she could set the 2 bottles down. She stared at me, but a moment later... You know, she's not the most attractive of the characters, but there's something very sensual about her. What's so funny? Everyone said the Heimdall adjutant doesn't drink alcohol. Sorry, I just wasn't expecting it. As she set down the bottle in her right hand, she lifted up the bottle of Pretoria slightly in her left hand. She then leaned forward on the bar and moved her carefully made up face closer to me. Made up. She does wear heavy makeup. You know, I also really like that little thing right there, where the eyebrow is slightly missing. I don't know why that's so hot, but that's very hot. Not only do you drink, but you're also pretty knowledgeable about it. Blonde rye, Pretoria. A blonde beauty among the rye variants. It originates from Yaris. Its flavor is so strong that only real hardcore locals understand how to enjoy it. You're worried about that blonde girl, so you want to use this to pray for her good health? As she said this, she pulled out a whiskey glass and slowly poured the amber liquid into it, remembering to add the ice and ginger. She'll be fine. How'd you know? Oh, I don't know. But in this line of work, you have to be considerate of your customers' emotions. I didn't mean anything else by it. If it didn't make you feel better, then... I mean, how did you know I'd come back? The other bottle, the one she had put down, was a bottle of Mimir soda. Your place is still open. Everyone in New Hentiro is panicking due to the chaos in the city, and they should be coming together here to drink and soothe their worries. There aren't any customers here now. You cleared the place out because you were waiting for me. She didn't respond, simply looking straight at me. After some time, she smiled, reached out, and pulled something out of the cabinet under the bar and placed it in front of me. It's the communicator, isn't it? You forgot this. Also, Fang! Fang, right there. I see a Fang. We need more girls with fangs in this game. It was my communicator. The light flashed, notifying me I had a message. The bright red hue assaulted my eyes and already tense nerves like a knife. Adjutant, I'm still following these guys. Their disguises are a mess, but they're all enemies of Yggdrasil. You were right. We have enemies in New Hentiro more dangerous than Pi. I'll keep following them until I can figure out who is behind this. Please find somewhere safe to stay. And don't forget what you promised me. Don't... Communications cut off. She pressed the play button with a slender gloved finger, before slowly pushing the communicator over in front of me until it was next to the glass of whiskey. What will you do, Mr. Heimdall Adjutant? I'm assuming Rosani's not her real name. I wonder if she's Rosen. Rosen? Rosen Quarena? Tin can. Just a yes or no. Is she actually like Rosen in disguise? Rosen. Am I even saying that right? At that moment, the implication behind what she was saying, paired with the scent of alcohol and the communicator's light, stirred my brain. And even though the house made the rules, it never followed them. My opponents, the spectators, everyone was watching me. Was she the house, my opponent, or just a spectator? Okay, I figured as much. Ooh, it's black as fuck. Ooh. Ooh, that's strong. I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. I don't drink black coffee, so this is really strong. I might need some sweetener. Every so often, I get like this hair trigger. Like, you know what? I'm gonna drink my coffee black. No. Bad idea. Don't drink your coffee black, Brandon. Alright. So, since the 5th Research Institute incident, we have been pursuing the wrong direction. Oh, it's Haru. We put all of our attention on the former board, assuming they were masterminding everything. We ignored another possibility. If the conditions were right, even in their powerful positions, would they be willing to work for someone else? After finishing the first round of interrogation, Haru was reporting the transcript to Director Tao on the headquarters roof. Tao stood with her back to Haru, positioned next to the railing on the edge of the roof, silently staring up at the sky. If their ultimate goal is still achieving immortality, then it isn't surprising they would put their eggs in more than one basket. But why? Right. Why does their pursuit of immortality have anything to do with the Quarena faction? Did Li Shuishui tell you anything the military might know about Rosen? So it is Rosen. And Rosani, Rosani. It's kind of an obvious connection. As Tao asked this, Haru lowered her head and thought back to what she heard from Li Shuishui during the recent interrogation. Flashback! Unfortunately, I only know that she is a former, low-ranking soldier who made her way up to commander based on her outstanding combat record. There are several groups within the military. Information is restricted rather strictly within each zone, organization, and even corp. After the incident in Yaris, the entire Quarena faction deserted their assignment from the military. General Adrian and I have tried to investigate Rosen's background, but we haven't uncovered anything useful, other than some unconfirmed rumors. Yo, what's up? Arceus rules? You made it. You are here for this stream. How is your week going so far? How is your weekend? What have you been up to? What have you been up to? By the way, don't mind if I continue reading. Also, thank you for the follow. Don't mind if I continue reading. Whenever you talk, I'll stop to make a reply. Ooh. A little something in my throat. Man. I wonder if it's because I've been reading so much. So, Ishu Shui. I still don't know if I'm even pronouncing that name right. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but Chinese names baffle me. Because the way they are spelled in English is oftentimes nowhere near what how they're pronounced. So, like, if I were to pronounce this in English, it'd be like Ki U Jue. I don't think that's right. We suspect Rosen may still have accomplices in the military as we speak. Someone has been interfering with our investigation and purposefully helping Rosen obscure her past. So now, you're willing to take a risk by bringing the Queen to Containment Zone Aleph and giving Yggdrasil the authority to interrogate her. Ooh, that's rough, dude. Funerals are harsh. I don't know how close your girlfriend was to her grandma, but I know if my grandma passed away, I'd be pretty. We were pretty close. I actually call her most Sundays, just so I can say hi, because I know getting up there. So, oh man, you do have to catch up on the Assassin Exceeds the Hero. I finished episode 7 yesterday. Probably my favorite episode. I know there's a lot that the anime cut from the light novels, but I'm still enjoying it for what it is. And I'll probably wind up reading the light novels at some point. Just because I feel like they'll be even better than the anime. Though I'm really enjoying like the art style, like the revamped 90s aesthetic art is so good. Yes, Rosa Ivanov is the only clue we have right now. What about Joseph and those reintegrated coyotes? They don't know anything. We reviewed what little internal records we have on Rosen. Other soldiers say that she is a cold, brutal commander who likes to personally lead the charge into battle. Exceptional in both the command room and actual combat. But there are several individuals with similar qualities in the military. That alone wouldn't be enough to grow the Corena faction to such a scale. And we're flash forwarding again. Back to the present. So, Li Shui suspects that Rosen is holding something over the military higher-ups' heads. Or offering something attractive enough to lure in those still willing to help the Corena faction. Then, what could that something be? You know, it's kind of hard to differentiate the voices between like Tao, Li Shui, and Haru, because I imagine them all having like sort of a mommy Ada voice. Hydrogen research. Oh damn. As Haru was recounting to Director Tao the intel she had gathered from Li Shui, Caroline notified them that the goldfish had returned to the company. The two headed back to Tao's office to meet Cirrus, sharing with her the intel they had gathered from the interrogation. Go on. Looking at her dust-covered junior in front of her, Tao acutely sensed that something in Cirrus had changed. It seemed like this trip to New Hentiro had forced the innocent young girl to take a big step forward in her maturation. Now, I'm glad your girlfriend is handling the situation. Deaths in the family are always rough if you are close to your family. So, she definitely has excuse me. She has my condolences. I know that's hard. And I also cannot wait for you to catch up. I'm glad you're enjoying American Kitsune. I appreciate that you got them. Hopefully you will enjoy them to your heart's content, and when the manga comes out, you'll be able to enjoy that too. I think it's coming out in a little over a month. A little less than a month. So yeah, it comes out on December 9th. I've actually had to order copies so that I can sell physical copies on my website. Alright, here's Cirrus. On my way back, I went through all of the intel I had collected previously, combining it with my analysis of Pai's responses and actions in the Tower of Hanoi. You know, that would make a good Christmas present. Nothing says Christmas quite like fox boobs. Fox girl boobs. Boobies. Those are the best. That's the best Christmas present anyone could ever get you. I'm just say it. The only thing that would be better is if your girlfriend dressed up as a fox girl and presented you with the manga while wrapped up in like ribbons and bows. Just in case you want to like hint it at her, like, hey, if we did this, wouldn't it be peak? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Director Tao, Captain Haru, I need to ask you a question. Why do so many people want the adjutant dead now? It's because the adjutant's got too much riz and drip. There's no way I'm gonna be able to read these that fast. Oh, Noi. You should do it. But you know, just in case she doesn't know to do it, just drop a few hints and be like, hey, you know, this chick right here, you look really good at cosplaying her. Wink, wink, wink. From the perspective of an outsider, the adjutant is the sole key to combating Taitogen and handling the crisis with the trees. If we lose the adjutant, it won't just be Yggdrasil losing someone important. No one else in the world can do anything against those trees. What would happen in that case? Everyone could only watch as every single tree came alive and Taitogen ravaged the world until every single person was pulled into Valhalla. Is that what the people eager to see the adjutant dead want? Could they actually benefit from that happening? That's a grim prospect. I just thought they were jealous. Because the adjutant has a harem. After a long silence, Haru responded with a pensive answer. For typical people, no. Let me put it another way. For those unable to control Taitogen, it's a threat. But for those able to control Taitogen, it's a resource. Yggdrasil, the adjutant, can clearly control this ability. But he sees Taitogen as a danger. Wow. And uses his ability to eliminate threats. On the other hand, someone else with the same ability, or someone who desires it, could see his actions as wasting an invaluable resource. But I don't think there are other people who can actually do what the adjutant does. I'm fairly certain he's like the only one in the world who can directly control Taitogen, right? That was supposed to be what made him special. Omega is an example of that. But we can't only consider his behavior in the context of his own selfish desires as a former board member. Ultimately, was the Quarena faction really nothing but hired muscle for Omega's research? I appreciate you can't use my words. I appreciate that. I definitely will be curious to know if she actually does it. And you are gonna get more American Kitsune. Because I'm trying to finish Man-Made God, Most Unlikely Hero, and Incubus, I suspect it might be another year before I can start up on American Kitsune Season 2. But I do plan to do American Kitsune Season 2. That will be done. I think Man-Made God and Incubus both only have one more volume after my next ones. So Incubus should be finished in 2 volumes, 1 or 2 volumes. Man-Made God should be finished in 2 volumes. So there's going to be the one I'm putting out soon-ish, if I can get in contact with my artist. 007. And then 008 will be the last one. So once those are out of the way, I plan to resume working on American Kitsune Season 2. So you will get more Kevin, Lillian, Iris, Christine, the whole harem. The whole Neva family is gonna be having a much larger role in the next volume. Oh, and here's Haru. Or were they working with him together in that grand plan? Or were they in fact the ones guiding him? According to the results of our follow-up investigation at Northwind Aerospace Center, people from the Quarena faction took away Dr. Kent. Why would they do that? Yes, there are currently 12 volumes of American Kitsune. I mean, the former board and the Adventists want the adjutant dead due to their hatred for Yggdrasil and their extreme zealotry. But what about the Quarena faction? They don't have as strong of a death wish for the adjutant. Millwood, the Queen, the Quarena officers. The Quarena faction always tries to threaten the adjutant and Yggdrasil into a cooperative relationship rather than seeking to simply kill him. If that attitude was the result of an order, then where's the one who gave the order most likely to be now? She's at the bar with the adjutant. Oh, we're finally getting Tao again. Let's interrogate Rosa Ivanov again. Haru, take Cirrus with you. Cirrus. Director Tao, do you agree with my deduction just now? Well. He sighed, not confirming or denying it. She then revealed an even more confusing expression on her face. There is one thing I have never been able to make sense of. What? What? Why she's the queen? Because there's always a king. And we're back to Rosani, or should I say Rosen. You look stressed. Do the girls around you see you like this often? While I was silent, seemingly in a daze with my head lowered, she faced me. The look she gave me was dripping with playfulness, curiosity, and a trace of savoring. It was like I was a glass of alcohol in front of her. She was getting ready to slowly pick up the glass and narrow her eyes and sniff it carefully before deciding whether to sip it slowly or gulp it down. So basically, she's trying to figure out whether I'm a wine or a whiskey, I guess. Or a shot? Who are you? How do you know who we are? The famous Jean Yu and the heroic Heimdall force he leads. You are this world's saviors. Is it really so strange that I recognized you? I mean, yeah. People from New Hentiro don't care about what happens in the world below. And when did I say I was from New Hentiro? It's a good point. All the more reason why I need to know who you are and what you want. You really want to know? She's looking serious now. She leaned closer with no warning. This close, a sweet, crisp aroma rushed straight into my head. I looked up, gazing into her aggressive eyes. She got like cat eyes. Kinda. People seem a little slitted. Let's play a game of chess. If you win, I'll tell you everything. Her tone had suddenly shifted completely. It was now cold, sharp, and carried an unbridled, murderous quality. She then unabashedly leapt into action. The fuck? She struck the glasses and communicators resting on the bar, allowing them to smash into the wall. She then slammed a chessboard down between the two of them, pulling out chess pieces from an exquisite wooden box. What's with the violent actions? They were chess pieces I'd seen before. Ah. Yep. Kind of figured. So, Arceus, I don't know, how much do you know about Snowbreak? I unconsciously reached down toward the pistol on my hip, but she simply chuckled without even glancing up. Click. Clack. So aside from my status as an assassin obviously exceeds the hero, I'm also watching Little Miss Vampire doesn't know how to suck properly, which is cute. I'm also in the Spy Family season 3, I think it's season 3. Am I watching anything? I'm watching Let's Play with a Friend. And Tales of Wedding Rings season 2. I'm watching that as well. So those are the ones I'm watching right now. None of them are super interesting to me. Like, a few of them are okay. But none of them really catch my attention. So I think this season's anime are fairly weak. But then again, we just came from a season that had My Dress the Darling season 2, and that's still like my all-time favorite anime, so okay. Never played but watched gameplay of it. Yeah, so I don't know how many of the gameplays you've watched focused on the story. Right now, we're dealing with what I assume is the big bad that was introduced in the previous arc, in the previous chapters. So they built her up. And the chess pieces that she's using are pieces that we actually acquired in the last chapter. So not the special chapter, but chapter 12. Yeah, last season had a lot, and you know, obviously it had My Dress of Darling, and My Dress of Darling is, in my honest opinion, the best romantic comedy anime ever, like ever in the history of ever. She held the chess pieces in her hand as she slowly placed them on the board. The black pieces were mine, while the white were hers. Black was missing a knight, while white was missing a bishop and its queen. White goes first, then black. That's the rule. If you don't like the handicaps of these missing pieces, you can try to rectify them. I moved my hand from my gun, reaching into my breast pocket. I then slowly pulled out the 3 chess pieces I was carrying with me, placing them one by one on the board. Ah, so you really did bring them with you. I almost thought I'd imagined it. A gentle smile appeared on her face when she said that, but in the next second, her chilling expression had returned. Then, she reached out with one finger and flicked away the queen I had just placed on the chessboard. Why'd you do that? Only the living are qualified to be on the chessboard, adjutant. I made the first move. It's your turn now. Ooh. Look at that smirk. That's quite the smirk. In this controlled situation, I had no other choice but to begin a game of chess with this bartender known as Rosani. Uh-oh. That was blood. How did this happen? What just happened? Haru, what just happened? Uh-oh. The killer suddenly broke in. Was she injured? What the fuck? The bullets were special. My squad mates and her. They were instantly... What the motherfucker? Captain Haru, What should we do now? Is Li Shuxue gonna die? I'm fairly certain she dies, but I don't know if she's dying yet. She is still breathing. Take her back to the company and tell Director Tao what happened. Have the medical department do everything in their power to save Li Shuxue. Do you understand? And what about you? She's getting ready. Right, that's her prosthetic arm. No, you can't. You still haven't fully recovered. If you chase after the killer... Ooh, Sirius looks angry. You and I are the only ones at the company right now. All of the other operatives are on their way to the Kuru region. You know what that means. Save Li Shuxue. Stick close to Director Tao and keep her safe. I'll play things by ear and meet you back at the company later. I'm wondering if she goes missing at this point, because I remember we don't hear from her again, supposedly. Tin Can confirm. Right? And we are back to the chess game. She was focused, bloodthirsty, and eager as she stared me down. Every move I made seemed to only push me farther into the trap she had set. She would swallow up my most innocent, harmless chess pieces in ways I couldn't even imagine without mercy. In this game, so my top 3, because I can't choose between them, Katya, Benny, and Mia. Mia recently became my 3rd favorite after her introduction and as a playable character. The more like Haru just doesn't get... Okay, so she doesn't vanish. She just has no purpose. And they're like, okay, we're gonna sideline this chick. That's sad. So, I am assuming that the chess pieces she is playing, like, the chess pieces are representations of these people. The cry that was about... Yeah, Mia's hot. I don't know, I think Mia and Katya are probably the hottest to me. Though Fenny's the prettiest. Like, just in terms of, like, pure beauty aesthetics. But she doesn't have the same, raw sex appeal that Katya and Mia have. The cry that was about to sound from the coyote was interrupted as a curved, serrated blade pierced his throat from the side and sliced straight through him into a concrete wall. The paper bag he was holding fell to the ground, along with the fruits and vegetables he had purchased for his wife, children, and companions. One of them rolled to her feet. Esther. Why? Holy shit! I remember that lady. So she's killing her own... she's killing her former members? A pile of coyotes haphazardly lay in the narrow stairwell, indiscriminately murdered regardless of their gender or age. One of them, still clinging to life and lying in front of her, was trying to question her. Why did you do this to us, Esther? Not in the mood to even look down, she lightly kicked the fruit at her feet into the coyote's mouth, cutting off the noise. Yep. Well, okay. No, I get it. I get it. I'm not gonna lie. I think Esther is officially irredeemable. Like, I don't want her as a playable character. In the same way that in Genshin Impact, I did not want Signora as a playable character because I hate her. I do not want her as a playable character because I do. I hate her now. I never particularly cared for Esther one way or the other. But now I understand why the Chinese player base does not like her. This woman is a fucking bitch. Then we're right on schedule. Our next target is Joseph Alexander. I wonder whatever happened to Alpha. Tell me the coordinates. No. The commander wants us to work together for this target. Wait for me at Northwind Aerospace Center. I'll meet you there. I'm leaving Containment Zone Aleph now. Frustrated, she hung up the call, clearly dissatisfied with her collaborator's blatant monitoring and distrust of her. Well, that's her own fault. Honestly speaking, I wouldn't trust a traitor either. She then suddenly drew her blade, allowing the body of her former companion to slowly slump down against the wall like a heap of junk. You traitors. You're the traitor. Fuck you. Fucking... ugh. I just want to keep cursing her out. Oh man. I was a mess. I could only react to her constant attacks. In the end, Rosani even took my queen, and failure was all but guaranteed. Benny Golden, is she your queen? As the end of the match devolved into a game of cat and mouse, she picked up the black queen she had just taken, frowned slightly, and skillfully waved it between her fingers. Then, she placed the black queen piece back on her side. I couldn't put up with her provoking and humiliating me any longer. I knew full well what her action implied, and it only made me angrier. Get up. Draw your gun. Flip the chessboard, then pull the trigger while you're aiming at her head. That's what went through my head. I tried, but the gunshot never came. She simply grinned as she looked at me, putting a stop to all of my movements. A massive amount of fragmented Tytogen invaded my mind through her gaze, and I couldn't help vomiting. Yggdrasil's hero, what the fuck? So she can control Tytogen, even though I thought this was like the adjutant's special ability. Thanks to her, my mind was in complete disarray. She was only whispering in front of me, but it sounded absolutely deafening. The Heimdall forces, Commander. She put one hand on my gun, moving her forehead closer until it rested firmly against the barrel of my pistol. Her other hand rested on my cheek without a sound. Someone with the supernatural ability, control Tytogen. She traced my features with her fingers, like a greedy spider crawling across its web after capturing its prey. I, Rosen Quarena, your counterpart, your kind. Her palm snaked around to the back of my head, slowly bending my neck down. At this moment, I extend the most sincere invitation to you. The struggle continued, and I happened to see a photo stuck on the back of the chessboard I had flipped. It was a photo of Marianne, being kidnapped by several humanoid monsters that appeared to be female. It is interesting. I feel like it's a little disjointed just because they flip between past and present so often, but it's a little like my own, like the Wiedergeburt that I wrote, though very different. I invite you to join our world and become, with me, a true god of the future, a demiurge. No. No. I refuse. But what else can I do? I'm assuming we have some kind of trump card that we need to play. Like, I don't understand how we're even going to get out of this. Life, Benny, I need them. I have to tell someone what I've learned so they can be protected. As long as they can finish being treated, everything can be reversed. With this vague yet agonizing conviction, I completely lost control of my body and rushed headfirst into Rosen Quarena's arms. The fuck? What? No, what? I don't even know anymore. What is even going on? Who are we playing as? So Katya's the trial character. Yeah, we're gonna deploy Tess as well. So we've got Tess, Katya, and Mia. And Mia's actually, I think, the strongest character here right now. Maybe. No, never mind. She's actually pretty good. Despite being level 70, she's got decent power. And, like, her weapons aren't fully boosted. I did do a pretty good job with her, her manifestations, but I don't think I've got the, I can't do anything. Okay. Don't have the materials. I don't think I can do anything about the talent. I don't know which talent I'm supposed to have for each of these characters either. He is great. Battle start.
My arrows are lovely, but deadly.
I would say...
This doesn't look good. Those two little sleeping beauties better wake up. Otherwise, things won't get better. This uneasiness. I hate this feeling.
I will say, I get that the story here is supposed to be kind of a mindfuckery, but part of me also feels like I don't know. Oopsies. Like, the adjutant, he's kind of confusing. I'm assuming that we're doing the adjutant did something on purpose, and he's keeping some kind of card close to his chest that even he doesn't know about, but it's just... A lot of it makes no sense.
I'll give you points for bravery.
Alright, we're gonna do Mia now.
Limiter off. Gotcha. Take that and that.
So Mia wants critical damage, attack, and index alignment.
Who can resist shiny things?
Just exists. Damage. Let's get being D3. That is good enough. Alright. I mean, I'd still enjoy min-maxing, but how are we gonna get across this? Ain't no way, bro.
Alone is how I work best.
How? Oh, I see.
All done.
That makes sense.
So easy.
I'm gonna stick with Mia.
Bam.
First,
Bam.
it was disguised soldiers. Now, it's the changed and titans.
Put all me down.
This isn't the style of any of the former board. What the hell is going on in this floating utopia in the sky?
We still calling this a utopia?
Who can resist shiny things?
Nobody can resist shiny things. So I'll probably do a little bit of min-maxing,
Sheesh.
just so she does more
Way
damage,
too out
but
in the open here.
Take that and that. Not enough to keep good old me
oh, these are
down.
these are hybrids.
What is that?
Yeah.
Let's
speed
switch.
things
Headshots.
up. I'll give you points for bravery. The raging wind howls, and the storm follows. Let's hold on to this.
Bullseye.
Looks like I've become a bit soft since I joined up with the adjutant.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's okay, you can be as soft as you want, Katya, because you make the adjutant hard. You know what? Let's do this as well. Hang on.
Welcome to Tessa's World of Magic.
Alone is how I work best. I'll give you points for bravery.
Let's run. not the best, not the best animation, but so a few things I'd really like to see with this outside of more voice acting is better animation. Like, could you imagine how peak this would be if they got like a really good animator to just kill on the cutscenes? And can anyone hear me? Agave, Katya, Nozomi, Modak, anyone? Please, go to Heartflow Garden. Protect life. Fenny. Adjutant? Oh, I recognize that exosuit. Fenny awoke abruptly, gasping for air like she was suddenly pulled ashore from the depths of an infinite pool. She could still hear the adjutant's pleading echoing in her ears. Warning! Warning! Patient rejection detected. Terminate. Treatment terminated. Exosuit fusion at 95%. Treatment failure. What the hell? Where am I? Before she could figure out what was going on, an ear-splitting warning notification and robotic system assaulted her eardrums. She tried turning her neck and moving her body, and discovered she wasn't restrained. However, her current situation still didn't look good. She was stuck inside a glass cover, like she was in a big petri dish. She was also wearing a strange suit she had never seen before. The plates of armor attached to her were seemingly connected to her nerves. The process of energy moving between the exosuit and her skin appeared as simple as circulating blood. What the fuck is going on here? What on earth happened to me? Which Fenny is this? Fire? No. Warning. Warning. Exosuit fusion at 73%. Treatment failed. Treatment failed. Repairing emergency regulation mode. System administrator will intervene. Why is the number going down? Yeah, I want to know that too. What's going on here? She wanted to passionately air her complaints, but the nerve anesthetic. Benny Starshine. That's what it is. Starshine. I was thinking sun something. Star is better. But the nerve anesthetic she had breathed in caused her thoughts to grow fuzzy again. With that, her ability to control her motor function had also decreased. Countdown. 5, 4, 3. Emergency regulation mode activated. System administrator authorization confirmed. Sterile treatment environment confirmed. Patient Fenny Golden confirmed. System administrator Ganges connection complete. Warning: patient Fenny Golden has an unknown substance within her body. The system is unable to eliminate it. It cannot be absorbed by the Sun Starshine exosuit. Exosuit fusion has dropped to... And there's Ganges. Status confirmed. Terminate warning program and resume normal operations. Furthermore, cut off connection between Fenny Golden and Life Bestla's treatment receptors. From now on, I will manually handle Fenny Golden's treatment. Miss Fenny Golden, please relax. I am Ganges, the Supreme Manager of New Hentiro. Well, at least we got this guy in our back corner. If we had no one, we'd be fucked. Who cares what you are? Let me go. I need to find the adjutant. We have the same goal. I also hope to complete your treatment as soon as possible, so you can assist Jinu. I ask for your cooperation to complete adaptation of this Yggdrasil prototype exosuit, Starshine. So this is from Yggdrasil? First, tell me, what happened to the adjutant? Man, this is why I like Fenny. She's just like super fiery and passionate. Just now I heard a voice. His voice. He was calling out for help. That's not like him. He'd never... That was no illusion. 10 minutes ago, Ginu did indeed indiscriminately send out a distress signal, transmitting it into the brains of everyone in New Hentiro. That was his voice you heard. The what? How are we transmitting signals into brains? That's ridiculous. How could he do that? Indeed. In the Tower of Hanoi, Ginu used fragmented Titagen to reverse connect with me. He sent that distress signal by utilizing one of my basic functions. So we're using fragmented Titagen. But we still can't beat Rosen. So New Hentiro really has been invaded by an enemy. Affirmative. You waking at this moment is both a risk and an opportunity. If you want to assist Ginu as soon as possible, please cooperate with the treatment. What do you need me to do? If there's one thing that Fenny's really good at, it's being super fucking decisive. I think out of all of the girls in the game, she is the one who the moment something happens, she's just like, okay, switch tactics, do this thing now. I think the others struggle with that. Please relax your nerves. Yeah, she's very adaptable. Like the moment she gets new information, she just spot on makes a decision. Which I think she doesn't actually think about it. I get the feeling I know the others that don't like what? Why do I what others don't like her? Oh man. Me and them are going to have words. We're going to have words. Like, I think out of all the characters, she's probably the most intuitive, is what I would say. She goes by instinct rather than logic. Attempt to reconnect with the Starshine exosuit. Consider it an extension of your body. That's way too vague. Honestly, for Fenny, that's probably just perfect. Apologies. Next, I will present you with a series of images and sounds. Please try to answer my questions. I will verify whether or not you possess the basic criteria to emerge from the treatment pod. It felt odd to be suddenly persuaded by an AI. In any other situation, she would despise being restrained and under someone else's control, leading her to resist. But even though she was incredibly anxious and weary, Benny sharply picked up on a slight change taking place inside of her. It was a wonderful, indescribable sensation. It was as if a scale was balanced in her heart. All of her furies hung on the left, while tentative rationality hung on the right, and they were in perfect balance. Fenny and rationality doesn't really jive with me. Now, are you sure you can treat me? Affirmative. Although your situation is complex, it is not all that difficult. Then listen up. After the treatment process ends, remember to stay out of my way. Only Fenny would say that to the supreme ruler of a city. Let's go. She didn't think about what Ganges' silence was implying. She simply closed her eyes, relaxed herself, and once again indulged in the amazing connection between her skin and the exosuit from when she just awoke. Ganges didn't make her wait long. After a brief darkness fell over her, she suddenly sensed her body becoming lighter. She instinctively opened her eyes again, but the scene in front of her was far from reality. It was as if her soul had left her body. She was floating in the Yggdrasil command room, and though other people were coming and going right in front of her, no one noticed her. Question. Miss Fenny Golden, can you identify your current surroundings and the people present? Does it look like I have Alzheimer's or something? You know what? Whenever I picture her talking, I picture her with like a Valley Girl accent. Even though that's not what she sounds like, it's just how I pictured her in my head. She discovered that she could clearly hear her own voice without even speaking. And as she vented her dissatisfied feeling, the exosuit on her body tightened to match her fluctuating emotions. And stop with the miss stuff. I don't need fake politeness from an AI. Ah, you mean reading my own books? So I don't narrate audiobooks. I'm honestly not very good at orating. So I tend to stumble over my words a lot. It would take a lot of time to narrate my own books. So I don't do them. I leave them to others. Also, not gonna lie, I like the dual male-female narrator pairing. So I usually, a lot of my books are hired out to companies. So like, we're gonna do a brief pause here. We're gonna go into Audible. Go to here. And Brandon Varnell. So like we got a good one. A lot of these are done by other companies. So like American Kitsune is published by Royal Guard, as is A Most Unlikely Hero, Man-Made God, How to Tame Your Dragon Girlfriends. Incubus is published by Podium, while anything else? Catgirl Doctor is also Podium. I think the only one, Severing Time and Space, also Podium. I think the only one that, Royal Guard, sorry. The only one that I'm doing personally is this one. V. Durgabort, Legend of the Reincarnated Warrior. You 100% do need to try that one. That one is peak. They're all peak, but that one is especially peak, because Dragon Girlfriends. Go up here for a bit. Right here. So we can do a little preview here.
This is Audible.
Royal Guard Publishing presents How to Tame Your Dragon Girlfriends. Written by Brandon Varnell. Performed by Amber Hart and G.M. Hakim.
I will say,
Disclaimer. No dragons
Amber Hart
were
has an
harmed in the making
amazing
of this
voice.
light novel. Prologue. Yoshihiro had never been religious. He was a man of science, or that's what his father wanted him to be. Despite his father's designs for him, he had done his best to live according to his own heart, even if his mind and philosophies were firmly rooted in science, in situations and scenarios that were backed by solid evidence, in things that could be explained with logic and reasoning. He did not believe in the supernatural. He never had, and he never would. That was what he always told himself. So, how had he found himself in this situation? Yoshi, it seemeth we are out of shampoo. Canst thou fetch me some? The person who stood before him was a woman who looked like a work of art. Her skin was the same color as freshly fallen snow, and it
I'm be honest,
complemented her ruby red lips and
listening to my
cerulean
own
hair
audiobooks
that
being
cascaded
narrated
down her shoulders like
is very
ocean
embarrassing.
waves. She was a well-proportioned woman, boasting the perfect hourglass figure that so many women crave.
Pause for I have trouble listening to my own audiobooks because I get embarrassed when I hear it being read out loud by someone else. Just a thing.
But few ever achieved. That she was just normally this beautiful was something he still had trouble believing. But then again, this woman was not human. She was a dragon. She was also naked.
And we're gonna end it right there. Thank you. I appreciate it's not like I think it's bad. It's just that it's I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it's one of those things where just hearing it kind of embarrasses me for inexplicable reasons. Also naked. We're gonna end it right there. If you want to know what happens with the naked dragon girl and Yoshihiro, be sure to grab a copy. How to Tame Your Dragon Girlfriends. Listen to it now on Audible. And now we're gonna continue with this. Please cooperate with the treatment process and answer the question. Poor Ganges. He just does not know how to deal with someone like Fenny. It's the Yggdrasil command room. The two people who just walked by work in the weapons workshop. You walk out the door, turn left, and walk 100 meters, you'll be at Tao's office. Is that good enough for you? She looked around, carefully describing the scene in front of her. She wanted to use as few words as possible to keep her irritation in check. She definitely needs the adjutant to calm her down. Affirmative. Patient environmental perception test complete. Patient memory scene replication complete. Next test. With emotionless and cold narration from Ganges, the scene in front of Fenny shifted from the headquarters command room to the second floor of the base, somewhere she was extremely familiar with. Next, please say their names. I recognize all of them. Adjutant's harem. The Heimdall Force operatives appeared out of thin air outside her line of sight. Led by Naruse Haru, they emerged in small groups, flashing in front of Fenny's eyes. Oopsies! Eyes, like a procession. Acacia, Marianne, Nita, Yao. The one behind Tess is Ichil, and Life. Something happened there? Fenny hesitated for a moment before she said Life's name. Perhaps it was because Life was the only one of her companions passing by below to notice something and glance back toward her. What was that about? Anyway, what kind of treatment is this? What's going on here? Next, please identify your room. Ganges ignored Fenny's queries, prompting her with a question to push her even further. Is something sus about this, or am I just being paranoid? Are you playing games with me? Please identify your own room and open the door. What do you mean? Isn't this just a virtual image you're simulating? How could I... Though she said this, the exosuit encasing her body seemed to take control, leading her to walk toward the door to her room. Then, she pushed open the door in the illusion. Patient. Kytogen manipulation test complete. Patient's Starshine exosuit fusion at 97%. There is one more link. Please cooperate with the treatment process. Please provide the identity and name of the individual in the room. Adjutant, right? It's gonna be the adjutant. Stop messing around. Who else would be in my room? Yes, Fenny Golden. Please provide the identity and name of the individual in the room to complete the final treatment link. The anguish deep in her heart, paired with this inexplicable treatment process, was about to drive her mad. In the next second, she had an even more terrifying realization. She couldn't say the name she was supposed to. She couldn't answer that incredibly obvious question. By the time she had realized this, she had already spoken unwittingly, matching perfectly with what the figure standing in the doorway in front of her said. Hera. At nearly the same moment she said that name, her surroundings suddenly erupted into the same piercing alarm she heard before. Everything in front of her instantly collapsed. Only the figure who looked identical to her remained. Patient, flooding at 99% capacity. Patient's Starshine exosuit fusion at 99%. The collapsing scene in front of her and Ganges' voice were ripped to shreds. A sensation of stifling heaviness that Fenny had never felt before indiscriminately attacked her body. Oh shit, what is this? The vague, identical figure before her also began to slowly morph until it had transformed into some kind of indescribable humanoid monster. Patient's flooding at 99% capacity. Patient awakening dust. Fusion at 99%. Rosani. Oh, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of American Kitsune. Feel free to drop by another stream whenever you get the chance. Have a good one, Arceus. Divine, Hera. Welcome to the world graced by true gods. The demiurges, motherfucker. What the motherfucker? Is Fenny in trouble? Fenny's in trouble here. God damn it. Okay. The invasion plan's first phase is complete. The demiurge handmaiden has successfully awakened Hera. With the awakening dusk, the commander planted in Fenny Golden's body. God damn it. In the hallway of Heartflow Garden, the intruders disguised as various groups stood fully armed and eager for a fight. Inside the pod, Fenny was seemingly still asleep. She had no idea the thing clinging to the outer shell of her treatment pod was precisely what she had just seen in the virtual environment. The horrifying monster known as Demiurge Handmaiden. Why is no one here to frickin' protect her? Marion Andreotti and Katya Klein have been captured. Hera is about to be born. We only have one target left. How are things over there? Stop rushing me. You're acting like this is an easy job. Those two locals are gathering all the citizens, using their brains as temporary servers to combat my attacks. But even with all that, I still blocked off Ganges' control of Heartflow Garden, and gave you an opening to act. So if you really can't wait any longer, you show me something more than just empty promises? Are you negotiating right now? You are in no position to negotiate with us. I don't need to remind you how your employer saved your life, or who you should be thanking right now. Listen up. I don't care what you have to do. Just infect Ganges faster. Upload everything that needs to be uploaded, then we'll get you out of here. The commander has personally lured the most important player to one of the outer islands to persuade him. Each and every step in her plan needs to stick to a strict schedule. If you don't want your employer to be held up by Heimdall at the Kuru border, then hurry up. Understood. Alright. The call was hung up. The leader calling the shots turned around, gazed at his companions, and then ripped off the fake patch on his shoulder, revealing the symbol underneath. Quarrena faction, right? It was the Quarrena faction logo. The step we take today is but the first step in our counter-operation after Operation Eurus. You all know how the commander likes to handle things. Hide your weapons. Wait for the right time to strike. With every step, we'll make our opponents feel the pain of longing for death. Go. Allow Odin to be born in this world as well. Before he could finish his sentence, he heard the tiny, sharp sound of something shattering. Following this, an acidic and numbing sensation traveled straight from his jaw to his brain. Then came excruciating pain. Is that Fenny? Please tell me that's Fenny breaking the fuck out of there. Oh no, that's Katya? An arrow-like bullet had pierced the glass in the treatment pod room, split his mask, and taken his lower jaw clean off. Fuck yeah. God. Thank God! Despite crying out in pain, he barely spit out the blood and foam that had rushed up his throat before returning fire right away. His surrounding companions also immediately got behind cover and began shooting into the room where Fenny was. but in the next instant, a massive explosion brought a powerful wave of air, throwing them and the outer shell of the treatment pod to the ground. Fuck yeah, Fenny! What did you just call me? Oh damn, she looks hot. I like that smile. Hell yeah! The slender, blonde girl donning red clothing shot out, gripping the throat of the monstrous demiurge handmaiden with one hand. With her other hand, she picked up a rifle that one of the Korenish soldiers had dropped on the ground, firing at them wantonly. Hera? Hera? Huh, who's that? Tell me, who's Hera? What does she look like? What kind of things does she like? Do the clothes and shoes she picked out fit me? Dude, this would be... Do they have a wallpaper of this? Then can. Is there something you're not telling me? She grinned manically, raving with impunity as she sent bullets flying into the brains of every single enemy around her. More enemies dashed in, rounding the corner of the hallway outside the room, their counterattack quick and deadly. However, Fenny grew even more enthusiastic and reckless when met with this shower of bullets from every possible direction. If those ancient myths are real, if this world really does have something deserving of a title like Queen of the Goddesses, then it's me, Fenny Golden. God, that confidence is fucking hot. I've been thinking about this for a long time. Still, before I met that dummy, I didn't have any interest in being the queen. But now, it's impossible to ignore. I don't know what kind of tricks you guys used, but this power I'm equipped with is like an extension of myself. I'm very pleased. She laughed wildly, crushing the monster's head in her hand before continuing to fire back at her opponents. It was as if the gunfire was simply a welcoming salute, and all of this was merely for her enjoyment. She saw it as fun that she should rightfully enjoy. She decimated every living thing in the hallway, filling them all with bullets. She kicked open the front door of Heartflow Garden, walking to the monument square outside. The blood of her enemies served as a red carpet beneath her. Wow. She a little off her rocker? She okay? She panted, tossed the gun in her hand aside, and slowly bent down as she supported herself on the edge of the flower bed next to her. Although she still didn't grasp the reasoning behind it, after that fierce battle, Fenny had an understanding of what was going on. She was completely flooded, but with the help of this exosuit and a special, unknown substance within her body, she wasn't overwhelmed by the Deos as expected. Instead, she was reborn. Multiple dead change lay at her feet, not to mention the Korena hybrid soldiers whose bodies had already begun to disintegrate after their demise. In other words, she was surrounded by highly concentrated Titagen. But at that moment, she didn't feel any discomfort whatsoever. Was it Hera's Deos? No. It seemed like that no longer existed. The individual standing there was, without a doubt, Fenny Golden. And she alone was craving more. One of your friends just said something really interesting. She lifted up a Korena soldier who was still clinging to life, ripping off his helmet used to hide his identity. She didn't pay any attention to the blood that splattered on her arms. Hide your weapons. Wait for the right time to strike. The pain of longing for death. If your commander really is anything like that, I'm sure she'd hit it off with our number one guy. Tell me, where are they now? The gravely injured soldier had no intention of confessing. Then he stared into his eyes until they dimmed along with the new Hentiro sky, A bolt of lightning struck amidst thunder, decimating all life. Finally, time for the main course. Is that Odin? He turned around, looking back at Heartflow Garden. On the bridge at the top of the staircase, it seemed like someone was unabashedly exuding a dignified aura, moving closer to Fenny with each step. Yeah, that's gotta be life. It wasn't her enemy. It was her rival, and, more importantly, someone like family. A friend she trusted with her life. You're ridiculous. There has to be a limit at some point, Fenny. She strode on the airborne pathway and walked down the stairs, blanketed by dark clouds. The person walking toward Fenny was none other than Heimdall's trump card, Leif Bestla. Oh, come on. I still haven't vented all my anger yet. In fact, I wouldn't mind fighting you right now. Wow. You're in the middle of a dangerous situation, girl. Calm your tits. All right. No fucking way. Are they really gonna fight right now? Oh, and that's her outfit. I will say that is definitely Life's best outfit. She suddenly opened her eyes, staring down at Fenny with a faint smile. But like you said, we have to bring back our number one guy back first. A battle between us two only means something if he is there to see it. That's right, wait until you get the adjutant back. You're clever, I'll give you that. What do you need me to do? Follow me. Damn, she does look glorious though. I will say, amazing thigh gap right there. Let's go. Get him back from whoever dared to mess with us. Oh, I said that in Fenny's voice, but that was Life. My bad. I apologize, you guys. Okay, so... Oh, we have to do this anyways. Okay. I thought that was like an extra. A dark, deep, empty, and endless abyss. The ground felt as sticky as swampy mud under her feet. She couldn't stop moving through this space, but each step she took required enormous amounts of effort and sacrifice. She was familiar with this place. Very familiar. Ever since she had taken a bullet for Genu during Operation Breakpoint, she had spent far longer in this world than she had awake. The unceasing sound of wind and thunder filled her ears, while entangled bolts of lightning encompassed her vision. This was Life Bestla's inner mind. It was also the battlefield on which she constantly faced off against her Deus with her mortal body. Come out. Odin. A shadow, identical to her in silhouette and appearance, coalesced and rose up from the darkness below her like a phantom. What's wrong? Normally, I can't get you to shut up or leave me alone. Now you are all quiet all of a sudden. Just as Life said, this was a place where the concept of time was hazy. Before, the shadow that claimed to be her Deus had constantly pestered her. Arguing, fighting, enduring mental torture, she actively resisted and struggled against her opponent's brain-muddling attacks. Each and every time, she was left exhausted, falling asleep in this chronic space. There was nothing to help her tell day from night. Before entering the treatment pod at Heartflow Garden, she thought everything would continue on as normal. But since she entered the treatment pod and allowed her consciousness to return to this immense space, the shadow representing Odin had abruptly gone silent, as if it was cowering. And now, it was appearing before Life in much the same fashion. The shadow that had combined together was trembling slightly, like there was a concern that made it hesitate to speak. Before, You always talked about how we were one, so I'm sure you already know. Ganges' treatment worked. Even though it's different than what I expected, the Tytogen in my body has found a balance. A type of intertwined, inseparable balance. She raised one arm at the elbow, opened her palm, and rotated her wrist as she examined it. So now, I can even do this. I'm assuming she's gonna blast him with Sith lightning. Before she finished speaking, Life suddenly swung her arm toward the shadow in front of her. With Life's movement, a ball of energy suddenly crashed down from above, accurately hitting the shadow. The thunderous explosion echoed throughout the space. As far as the eye could see, cracks began to spread, even in the delicate, smooth darkness in the distance, just like a shattered mirror. I don't think I need to spell it out for you, right? This isn't a magic trick, and it's not a miracle. You used to hate Tytogen. It used to harm you. Now, it has become a driving force for you. I've already broken this new body. If you want it, you're going to have to work a little harder. I thought I'd need to work harder too, but now it seems like that won't be necessary. You are talking like you've already won. This isn't about winning or losing, Miss Life Bestla. It suddenly changed its tone. Even the way it addressed Life implied a symbolic change. You? Life was briefly shocked by this unexpected shift. It wasn't that she didn't know who this individual was. She just didn't know when or why this change had taken place. Ganges, did you invade my consciousness? I did not mean to offend you. This is the necessary price of your treatment, Miss Life Bestla. I don't care about that, but I do need to know why. I want to know why too. The treatment pod is responsible for minutely rebalancing your physical composition, resolving the incompatibility between Tytogen and carbon-based organisms. I utilized a physical approach to intervene and affect your nervous system, constructing an environment in your consciousness that allows for direct communication so I may prevent any flooding that may be triggered during treatment. The original treatment plan should have followed this outline. Original treatment plan? Does that mean the plan wasn't executed smoothly? Something went wrong? Affirmative. The shadow in front of her suddenly charged her. Life unconsciously moved to dodge and counterattack, but her eyes widened as she stood motionless. Miss Life Bestla, you must witness the cause of this treatment. This is Visitor Jinu's request. He hoped I could show you this memory during the treatment process. Okay. Why are you back again? Don't you need to leave soon? Something feels off. Oh, I remember this This is a flashback to something that actually happened in the game. What feels off? You do. You have something to say, just come out with it. How are you planning on treating Life? New Hentiro, balance. Are you really going to let me take my operatives there without any kind of preparation? That isn't like you. It was a contentious standoff. Neither was willing to give in. After some time, Tao sighed in surrender. This is a design blueprint for a prototype exosuit that was cancelled. She tapped the holographic screen, displaying several pages of data for Jinu. All of the company's manifestations, after subduing their Deos and claiming its power for themselves both physically and mentally, would be qualified to wear it. This was once a crucial part of the former board's plan to achieve immortality. They will either be obliterated, accepted, or maybe even independently coexist. As long as they are manifestations and have absolute control over the Dewas, this prototype exosuit can consolidate and increase their power. And allow them to become the new gods you dreamed of? You know I don't want to talk about this anymore, but life's recent situation keeps giving me a vague feeling. I'm afraid she already... The images flashing before her eyes grew chaotic, blanketed in violent storms and lightning. All of these past illusions were ripped to shreds, dissolving deep within her heart. Before she knew it, the only thing remaining in front of her was the silhouette identical to her own. What's wrong? I am being attacked. Heartflow Garden, New Hentiro, is being attacked. The shadow in front of her was dissipating, constantly flickering and shifting. What's going to happen to me if the treatment is forced to end early? Negative. There is no precedence for this question. I really can't get a moment of rest. Patient Life Bestla treatment process has concluded. What? Patient blooding at 0 capacity. Patient infinite sight fusion 100% complete. It's interesting. So Fenny and Life are like literal opposites. I think Fenny was 99% flooded, where Life is 0% flooded. Miss Life Bestla, have you ever faced yourself? What kind of weird question is that? In apparent response, the shadow in front of her shook violently, transforming into a dark, gleaming mirror. Since the beginning of your treatment, I have been unable to locate the existence of the Odin Deos. I attempted to simulate Odin Deos and failed. I attempted to observe the Odin Deos as you experienced flooding and failed. Conclusion. Patient Life Bestla has already previously achieved resistance to and control over flooding at an unknown time. I ask you again, Life Bestla, have you ever faced yourself? The dark mirror rose up to ensure Life would answer the question this time. Softly floating in front of her under the backdrop of her thunderous inner mind. Faced myself? Boob. On the suspended pathway outside Heartflow Garden, Life's surroundings were no different from what she had seen in her inner mind before. It was as if the birth of a new god was being celebrated, or she was being congratulated for taming a divine being with her mortal body. The wind and thunder above cheered for her new, untouchable, and holy form. You know, this pose kind of reminds me of Storm from Storm from X-Men. Did I say the Fantastic Four? But no. I'm not talking about that. Naturally, she knew what Ganges was asking her. She also knew that the Dewas that had distressed her and put her in dangers countless times most likely no longer existed. When and how did she defeat it? Aim it? Maybe there was no point in asking those questions. The recent changes that had taken place in her, the surprise and awe she had witnessed in the eyes of those around her, were enough to verify what she believed in her heart. Gods represent a false fear that must be believed in, revered, and worshipped to exist. Once a god loses its disciples, it will falter, and its power will disappear. And Life Bestla, someone who had always believed in herself, chased power, and yearned to protect the most important person to her, had never felt any reverence for Odin. Whoever's god you are, whoever believes in you, whatever legends or powers you possess, none of that matters to me. You know what? I'm liking Life more and more now. I didn't particularly care for her as a character But this new life's kind of cool. She's badass. She slowly walked to the end of the pathway, speaking under her breath. She didn't know if she was talking to herself or the fierce wind and thunder overhead. The important thing is, this power has been surging in me from the very beginning. Also, did her boobs grow? I could swear her I could swear her previous outfits were not hiding something that massive. That means it's destined to belong to me. I'm the only one who can use it. A familiar blonde figure was taking her anger in the distant monument square. Just like always. Life lifted her head, gazed up at the sky, and made a final proclamation to everything that no longer existed above the clouds. This world doesn't need any gods. Fuck yeah. Okay. I feel like hers got a massive upgrade compared to like all the others, I mean. So like Cirrus was always kind of stacked. Katya. Chengxing not so much. Fanny maybe a little. I'll have to look back at her original designs, but she might also have gotten a massive upgrade. I just noticed Life's way more. You sure about that? Hang on a second. Let me check this out. Cirrus. Not Cirrus Refriend. Cirrus. 4-star. Cirrus. See, let me. You know what? And I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to her Snowbreak, her 4-star. This is her 4-star, right? It's kind of hard to tell. Honestly. Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I can see it like this. This makes it a little easier to see. She's so covered that it's hard to tell, but now that I'm seeing it like this, it's obvious. So, and I'm still used to like her 5-star version, so like you got this one right here. Okay. I guess they all did. For whatever reason, Lice was just the one I noticed the most. Oh, and here we are. We are back at where the original things start, where the last cutscene ended. You're ridiculous. There has to be a limit at some point, Fenny. Yeah, Fenny's got a boost too. Oh, come on. I still haven't vented all my anger yet. In fact, I wouldn't mind fighting you right now. Alright. But like you said, we have to bring our #1 guy back first. Man, the fact that the adjutant is in trouble again. Alright. So we're gonna take a very quick cat break. Cat break. Hang on a sec. There we go. And I need a break for my throat. So give me just a second. We're gonna go over to the cat. Let's scale this. That's way better. So, Tin Can, here's your cat stream. Let's go. So he's a little sleepier than he normally is. Recently, I don't know what it is. Recently he's been waking up earlier in the day, and he's been staying awake earlier in the day. So when afternoon rolls around, he's super sleepy. I don't know why. All right, but that's our cat stream. He might come back, he might not. I don't know. It depends on whether or not he actually wants to get up from his little area. He's super comfy there. That little bowl is like his favorite spot right now. Okay, so we now have this. And we're gonna dismiss Mia. As much as I love her, we're gonna stick with characters that are gonna be staying here. So Life and
There's no value
Fenny.
in defeating these guys. Don't engage them. Let's get to the hotel as fast as possible and find the adjutant.
Don't engage them, but she wants
Then
us
I'll
to
ask
clear
him how he
the.
ended up with that woman.
You're more chatty than before Wednesday.
Indeed. I thought that was a good thing.
It might catch a lot of people off guard.
All right, let's try these new.
Weakness
Oh, right,
exposed.
this was the power that she had.
Don't slow me down, okay?
Target down.
Man, it's been a while since I've used this particular ability. Oh, we got. Cleared enemies, and now we're gonna switch to
Took
Fenny.
you long enough?
I don't think I've ever really used Fenny's star ability. This one.
Victory is mine, obviously.
What does this do?
Take a bow. Exit stage right. What in the world is the
Here.
adjutant doing? He's
That's what I
become the
wanna
real
know.
daredevil.
Impulsive, exciting, challenging. These are what he uses to relieve stress. Of course. Maybe he learned it from someone.
Wednesday?
So, okay,
Victory
I
is
see you
mine,
do that,
obviously.
and
Take a bow. As if I need money.
I got 25. I'm assuming this different ammo does something. One deals more damage, one loads E energy faster. Okay.
Victory is mine, obviously.
This one. Oh, I think I see. I'm looking at that gauge and it does look like it's loading faster.
We have extras on set.
Like I see the little bar shining. Now we go here.
Nice. Shall we do an encore?
Alright, and
Can
we're
I
gonna
ask a
use
question?
this.
Yeah? Put an end to this.
Why do I find this thing so unpleasant to look at?
Why are you asking me?
You're more experienced in unhappy feelings.
There'll be more of them. It's because half of their bodies are the same as us.
And the other half?
We'll find out soon enough.
I will say, I think that Life is her new exosuit here is way more powerful, at least from what I can
Weakness
see.
exposed.
I wasn't your first pick?
Whoop.
Nowhere to run. A brilliant performance on my part, you'd agree.
Oh, that's the new one. That's another different type of ammo right there too.
You think you're a match for me?
Benny, you go get the adjutant out of there. I'll stay outside to fight off any enemies chasing us.
Yep. I noticed that. So
When did
left
you
and right for single
start
target,
ordering
forward
me
for
around?
AoE. So that was the
Just now.
AoE one.
And in the future.
And that's
Coffee
the
In your
that's the
dreams,
S
more
energy.
like nowhere to run.
And then that's the single target energy. Okay. I think I got it.
I'm here to put an end to the storm. Just as you wish.
Adjutant. Yeah, Fenny does look pretty not stacked there. And that explains why she's not that great. So I was gonna say, Fenny Starshine is outshined by Life's new exosuit. Look at me, Adjutant. I want you to look at me. Am I hallucinating? Darkness, heat. The breath next to my ear was scorching. But no matter how real the calling voice felt, my vision was still hazy. I was so exhausted that I couldn't even lift a finger. But my skin had grown more sensitive to stimuli. I could even discern how tender the palm wandering over my body was. It was like a snake invading a gap in my clothing. Something, or rather someone, was attempting to explore me. This is Rosen, isn't it? The hand glided over my stomach, ribs, chest, and throat, before silently resting on my cheek. Look at me, okay? Only look at me, okay? Her tone was simultaneously full of jealousy and affection as she whispered. However, there was also her ever-present, unique, flirtatious attitude. She straddled me, crawling over my chest and allowing her hair to brush against my neck. The feeling of her hair mixed with the resentment in her voice sent an intense tingling sensation through my body. Fenny? That's not Fenny. So you still remember my name. I thought you already forgot about me. I thought you... Forgot about you. Why? You ignored me, didn't spend time with me, and didn't take me to do anything. Especially missions. I do feel like Fenny kind of got sidelined a little bit. A sudden choking sensation interrupted the denial in my subconscious. She suddenly moved closer to me, pressing her nose against my upper lip and unreservedly sharing her warm breath with me. I'm using this opportunity. You're mine now, Adjutant. You can't turn me down, and you're not allowed to use those lips that lie to other people to lie to me. I'm still convinced this is not Fenny. If you don't want to forget me, then why don't you always make sure I'm by your side? If there isn't anyone else in your heart, why didn't you ask me to come with you to Yaris? No, even before that, after the incident at the 5th Research Institute, you didn't ask me to come with you for Operation Breakpoint. I hear unzipping. She suddenly pulled me upright with her hands. Her fingers groped around my chest before she found the evidence to back up what she was saying. Then, she grabbed me forcefully. Her sharp nails broke my skin, leading to surging pain that only added to the unbearable desire I was experiencing. This bullet changed everything. I've been scared every single day since then. I always feel like someone is going to take you away from me. No. We're family. No one is going to take me away. Family, huh? Your family is too big. There's room for too many people. He does have a big harem. She whined in a teary voice as she lightly locked her legs around my waist. My organs and ribs were suddenly squeezed. Wow, okay. And I couldn't help feeling dizzy, coughing as I lay back down. You're talking nonsense again. everyone in Yggdrasil on the Heimdall Force's family, right? No matter how big or small that family is, no matter how many members it has, it's our only home, isn't it? Then tell me who you care about most in that family. That's like the hardest question for any harem protagonist to ever answer, and they never answer it. Not just before and now, but in the future. You only need to care about one person in this family. Who is it? I couldn't even tell if I was mumbling or just helplessly exhaling. In the next second, my body felt lighter. Hair whipped against my cheek, the scent filling my nose before I heard the bed creak next to me. She had turned over and was lying beside me, seemingly out of spite. Arenas, was that the one that I did I do that one? Benny, what's going on here? This isn't Fenny. I don't get it. Yeah, he's hallucinating. Was I really imitating her that well? This is Rosen. Maybe. Was it that real to you? Never even doubted it? Or did you realize from the beginning but were just enjoying it? Yep, this is Rosen. Is she always like that when she's with you? I was sure I wasn't dreaming. I wouldn't have a dream like this. I didn't need to. Was this reality? The person sitting on me and whispering just a second ago suddenly transformed into life? Is this some kind of joke? Bro, get a fucking clue! Forget it. Since it isn't a dream or reality, the only remaining possibility is painfully dull. You're not saying anything. Does that mean you agree? Yeah, that's the one where you go to meet... I don't remember what her name was. But yes, I do think we did that. Because we did Philosia's story. Yep, that's the one. Clarina's like the vampire girl who eventually pulls away from her family, or her aunt, to join the Heimdall Force. Or rather, the Adjutant's harem. Yeah. No, I remember that. Like, I remember Clarina. So that was like the end of the last update. I bit down on my tongue, using the jolt of pain to give myself the strength to shake my head. I'm waiting for you to say something first. Waiting for me? What do you want me to say? Say what you're supposed to. Like when are you going to be satisfied with this boring farce? And it's raining? Realize that it's raining. The fuck is she wearing? That looks like a military suit combined with pajamas. Jeez, you really are. I can't stop. Laugh all you want. I hope I get to pop her in the face. After a moment of silence, a bout of hearty laughter burst out from the foot of the bed. The sound itself was beautiful, but the mocking humiliation and triumph hidden within the laughter was truly deafening. Help him sit up straight. After receiving this order, the thing beside me instantly retracted all of its affection. Its movements became restrained, rigid and cautious. as if fearful of disobeying her order. My vision finally grew somewhat clear. I simply watched as the thing helped me sit up, leading me to lean against the soft pillow in front of the backboard. I then looked at the woman standing at the foot of the bed. Rosen Quarena. She stood completely nude. She's not nude. Why is she not naked in this? She stood completely nude in the dim light with her back to me. Without any hesitation, she put both her body and identity on full display. She was a woman, a warrior. It was blindingly obvious at a glance. The scars left by bullets and blades on her back, paired with her impressive muscles, formed a breathtaking picture. The humanoid creature beside me got down from the bed, grabbed a robe from the clothes rack, and walked over to her with tentative steps, holding it out to her awkwardly. Okay, so they're basically shadowing her because right now she's supposed to be naked. And I assume once she wrapped, Rosen arbitrarily wrapped the robe around herself. She then turned around casually and stared at me with a happy smile. And now we're gonna see her. There we go. Like a military robe. He didn't like the seductive one, or the jealous one. You failed to understand him. You failed to trick him. Useless. Commander, I'm sorry, It hastily knelt down at Rosen's feet, physically expressing its fear. But Rosen merely shook her head, reaching out to place a hand on its skull. Just as well. The flowers in his own garden are already so nice. It's not your fault he isn't a fan of wildflowers. I don't know, Fenny's pretty wild if I do say so myself. And that's a sickly, disgusting sound. She spoke calmly, but her hand didn't stop. All 5 fingers pierced its head until her wrist was completely submerged. The humanoid monster let out agonizing screams, but Rosen took things a step further. It seemed like she was searching for something within the monster's head with her bare hand. After a moment, she found it. Looks like a parasite. It was a crystal clear cluster of silken objects. The intricate clump glistening in Rosen's flat palm. The monster's body had already collapsed to the ground and was disintegrating before my eyes. As I stared at the monster's corpse, I was reminded of how the Changed also dissipated when they died. That gave me an idea. Maybe I should pick a fight with the commander to buy myself some time. A gentle approach didn't work, so you're using a more brutal method to intimidate me? Sorry, but I'm not biting. You don't need to beat around the bush. It's actually quite simple. She gonna try to shove that thing down my throat? She stared at the cluster in her hand, slowly straightened up, then walked toward me. Just now was only because useless beings don't deserve to live. If that's true, I don't deserve to live either. You already know I can't join you or work with you, no matter what you do. Wouldn't someone like that be useless in your eyes? No. She strode over to the bed, gently lifted one leg, and looked at me condescendingly. You aren't useless. You just never learn, adjutant. I never learn? Then you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Your boss, your company, and all of the people in the world who fear Tytogen while simultaneously gaining power from it just never learn. And you, led by those mediocre fools, rushing around upon hearing false claim after false claim, doing your best in every hopeless situation just for someone else to benefit. Me, you are the most important, the most useful thing of all. Well, glad to be useful, I guess. Still kind of hope I get to pop you in the face. She slowly leaned closer, caressing my cheek with her fingertip, This close, her eyes appeared incredibly clear, and her lamenting voice sounded absolutely calm. I said we were counterparts, the same kind. Then what's that? I tried to act weak and powerless, revealing a bitter expression. I looked at the mask in her hand, asking the question I craved the answer to the most. Wipe that delicate look off your face, Adjutant. Your acting skills aren't good enough to play the bumbling opponent. Wow. I got called out! Besides, you must have already regained your strength, right? Did I? How does she know? I mean, she's pretty freaking smart. You aren't the only one who knows how to use Titagen. So she's gonna try to... Yep, she's gonna shove that thing in my mouth. Okay. Before she finished speaking, her hand suddenly clamped down forcefully, pinching my jaw. Dense, pure Titagen instantly began to flow into my body through the fingers she had shoved in my mouth. God damn. It was as if the remains of the disintegrated monster was also moving toward me across the hotel room, seemingly guided by something. Am I not gonna fight back? Let's be more candid, mentally and physically. This is much better. She pressed her pelvis against my hips with a gentle force. The abrupt stimulation caused my lips to move apart, and she used this opportunity to shove the cluster she was holding into my mouth. Yep, I knew she was going to do that. The sound of chaotic gunfire coming from underneath the floorboards led both of us to freeze. She stared at me, a trace of doubt flashing across her gaze. It looks like your plan wasn't completely airtight, Commander Rosen. You really think someone is coming to save you? Yes. No. I think I can get out of this myself. Really? As I said this, I violently swung at her face. Just as I'd expected, she leaned back and grabbed my fist with her other hand. I reached out for the crystal-like cluster. You can't just take it like that, Adjutant. Can I actually take it? With a slight flick of her wrist, the object merged with her flesh, disappearing without a trace. Well, shit. But if you want to flex your muscles, I'd be more than happy to join you. So are we gonna fight? Before she even finished speaking, a backhand knife strike was heading for my jugular. All I could do was tighten my jaw, engaging my back and thighs to shove her off me. However, her flexibility and technique vastly exceeded my expectations. She supported herself on my chest with one hand, swinging her legs sideways. She calmly escaped, while also giving me an intense kick to the side. So basically, she's better than me. I shambled out of the bed, standing up despite the excruciating pain. She had already blocked my path to the door, casually stretching her neck and arms. Do you know why I decided to join the military's ranks in the beginning? How can I know that? I know. Even if I didn't before, I certainly know now. To train my body. To utilize violence to satisfy the desire deep within me. It's a natural instinct in humans. We're simply another species of animal. Nowadays, while the entire world is in opposition to this instinct, I am embracing it. And from it, I have experienced unparalleled... So basically, she just gets a kick out of fighting. Even though I was always prepared to give my life on any mission, at that moment a chill ran down my spine. The person charging toward me like an arrow was undoubtedly human, but what she evoked was something far more horrifying than any titan or demon. It was a sense of honest, sincere, and completely indisputable, unbridled bloodlust. So, Am I about to get my ass kicked? Yeah, so basically... Oh, whoopsies. I just did that one. And I'm assuming the other final boss is Edda. Right, so... Since we gotta do this again, we're gonna do these two. I'm gonna stick with just them.
What is this thing?
I don't know.
It's a badger detection bot, locally manufactured. I hacked this one when they weren't watching. Take control of it with the control panel and use it to open the door from the other side.
Okay. So, go here.
Objective complete. Big surprise.
After connecting to the badger bot, you can switch between the operative and the bot anytime. Okay. Huh. We go this way. So I'm assuming then that we do not manage to finish Edda off in this chapter. Which is a little disappointing, but so long as I get to pop her face at least once, I guess that'll be enough to satisfy me. I just want to smack her once.
I'm inside. How are things where you are?
That's not what I want to do. T.
Wednesday? Sorry. Can I interrupt? It looks like life doesn't have time to answer you.
What's she doing?
You're the internal affairs operative stationed here, right? From Levitain? Take a bow. Yes, I'm a long time fan of you, Lionheart. Wow, and now I get to help you as your navigator.
You just sound very horny.
Looking around. Stay combat ready. There are enemies just around the corner up ahead. You think you're a match for me? Please. Take a bow. Exit stage right. Objective complete. Big surprise.
Okay. Alright, so now we gotta use this thing. This way. Okay. There. Oh, right. I forgot this thing can actually shoot. And these little missile whatevers. Right. And here, access this.
To conquer.
And down we go.
Victory is mine, obviously. You think you're a match for me? Please.
There.
It'll
Ooh.
take more than that.
I forgot those things drop bombs.
Take a bow. Exit stage right.
Okay. Not going that way. So what we need is... Okay, we need to get the bot again. You know, I'm gonna say these little things, they look just like cardboard on legs. Don't know how that works. How are they even moving? Oop. Hurt myself. And over there. Ooh. There.
Well, that was
Open.
a pain. Hey, Miss
That was a
Lookout,
pain.
Can't you just unlock the doors remotely? Shall we do an encore? If I had that kind of amazing capability, I wouldn't let the adjutant fall into the enemy's hands. Is that sarcasm in your voice? No, never! It's just that our enemy this time is really...
It's really
Hello?
what?
Hello? You need to hurry. I think my location has been compromised. Very soon, I won't be able to. We have extras on set.
Whatever, let's do this.
Do you think you're a match for me? Please. As if I nowhere to run.
So, and I'm gonna save that ultimate.
Already, victory is mine, obviously.
Right. So, done.
Your gaze will always be mine to control.
That's a very Fenny ending sequence. Oh,
The square behind the hotel has been cleared. Did you find the adjutant yet?
I will soon. I'm playing with a little robot.
A
playing
robot?
with a little robot.
Don't ask.
Can I do anything
My
right now?
patience is running out.
Okay. So, oh, gotta talk to the robot again. And then we go this way. Up. We just drop down? Alright. Alright, so we need to do all of these. Turrets to come to clear threats. Okay.
We have extras on set.
Oh, they're not. I can't even attack those. So we have to go use another one, I'm guessing? Yeah. Any more enemies coming this way? Oh, that thing's still alive. There. And then check the last one, I guess.
We have extras
Destroy
on
that
set.
first. All threats cleared. And then...
She stoops to conquer. Objective complete. Big surprise. Nowhere to run. Do you think you're a match for me? Please, nowhere to run. As if I need money.
Up. What do we know? Control the bot. Okay, control the bot. So we want to go through here to get to there. Okay. Kind of hoping I get to see Fenny's ultimate. I don't think I've ever seen Starshine's ultimate before. That's not good. I have to be careful. Avoid the electricity. And... I'm wondering, do I want to stay up here? I'm assuming... Oh, wrong way. I'm assuming I want the bot to stay up there. Since there
We have extras
is...
on set. Nowhere to run. It'll take more than that. Do you think you're a match for me? Please. Take a bow. Exit stage right. Nice. Shall we do an encore?
So this place is... I got one more enemy to beat. Where the f*** is he? Really? You hiding all the way over there?
All right. Just
Okay.
one door left.
There aren't many escape routes left. Get ready. It could be tough.
Alright, so we gotta go through here,
Let's
I'm
worry
assuming.
about that after I find him. I have a bad feeling.
Yep.
Fenny.
Give us our adjutants, you scoundrels. Objective complete.
That's
Big
right, Fenny.
surprise.
Alright, time to see what her
Give
ultimate
me the
is.
applause I deserve.
Oh no, I remember now. This is it. Like, it's basically just this, like, giant-ass freaking beam.
Already reloading. Take a bow. Exit stage right. A brilliant performance. on
And
my
that's one of
part, you'd
those
agree.
maiden demiurges. Alright. Here's the hoping I
here to put
get
an end to the
rescued,
storm.
I guess.
Just as you wish.
I should do that with just Fenny. I guess that makes it canon. The sound of our panting merged together. Just like our bodies, now tightly intertwined and unable to separate for a single moment. Are we wrestling? Wow. How interesting. Yeah, how interesting. Adjutant, what are you doing? This isn't NTR. I've seen men and women end their fights in the bedroom or in the grave. Huh. What's the point in us fighting like this? I don't know. Yeah, shut your mouth. I tightened my grip around her body. She cooperated by groaning in pain, but she also revealed an even more indifferent expression than before. Why the long face? Look in the mirror. You're the one who's taking advantage of the situation right now, big guy. Cheer up, okay? What the fuck is even going on here? She had a point. From an outsider's perspective, I was treating her like a piece of meat I was about to devour, holding on with no intention of letting go. But who could have guessed things would turn out like this? It was purely because I had no other choice. So what? Even though the Heimdall force was full of capable fighters, and I wasn't half bad myself, I was no match for Rosen. If she really wanted to kill me, all of this would be over in a second, so we're basically admitting we got nothing on her. You just keep surprising me, Adjutant. You resorted to tricks when you couldn't beat me. Used the downtime during our fight to absorb Titagen from my body, and took advantage of the moment I was distracted to hug me. So that's what's happening here? Does she have a snaggletooth? I knew she had fangs, but is that like a legit snaggletooth right there? What's this about? Are you treating me like the tree in Yarus? Want to suck me dry? That doesn't sound like a half-bad idea, honestly. She was half right. Even so, I realized I was falling into another one of her traps, so I didn't respond with a direct answer. Have you seen that famous boxing fight from a century ago? Huh? You sure do think highly of yourself. You're nothing like that fighter who grabbed his opponent in that fight. He was already winning with his technique and wingspan. For him, that grab was just a little trick to gain an extra advantage, though she does know what he's talking about. Good thing, 'cause I don't. And if we're following that script, should I bite your ear? Oh wait, Mike Tyson. This is Mike Tyson, right? She began struggling in my embrace. Every time she moved, I grew more and more dizzy. I had been planning on using my ability to subdue her, but I had miscalculated. I'd assumed her body would be similar to the humanoid monster she had killed, but it wasn't by a long shot. When she said I'm not the only one who knows how to use Titagen, did she mean... I told you. Those fools who fear Titagen don't blah 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 blah. Tytogen don't recognize your value. This little trick you've developed through bravery alone can only be described as unorthodox. Oh boy, she's flooding me, isn't she? She suddenly increased the magnitude of Tytogen coursing into my body, then immediately retracted it the next second. My organs couldn't handle the pressure any longer, and I coughed up a mouthful of blood. Join me, Adjutant. You shouldn't associate with the bad guys. Oh wow, she's calling Yggdrasil the bad guys. I mean, Tao's not great, but I don't know. Rosen doesn't seem much better. What are you? What is a demiurge? It may have been the last question I had the chance to ask. If all of my previous acting helped let her guard down and give me a real answer, all of my suffering would be worth it. I doubt she's going to give in that easily. Whose side do you think I'm on? The military? The Adventists? The Titans? Or Edda? You know Edda? She was deliberately torturing me, freely controlling the Tytogen as it moved between our bodies. I had never experienced an onslaught like this before. It felt like all of my bones were being crushed, and even standing up was difficult. She's only a tool. Her thoughts and consciousness were borrowed from somewhere else, and she still has the nerve to talk about creating gods. She's talking about Edda, right? As for what I am, I can tell you now or save it for later. Are you sure you'll be able to remember everything happening now? Oh dear. A good question. Is he gonna remember this? Does she? No, she's just tricking me. There's no way she knows what I did. Calm down. I need to calm down. I am not calm. Adjutant is panicking. Quit stalling. Tell me now. At that moment, Fenny arrives. You scum. Over the adjutant. Actually, she just said that, didn't she? Fenny's angry cry sounded extremely close. As gunshots echoed through the hallway below us, Rosen's expression suddenly changed. She whipped around and shoved me away, cutting off the circulating Tytogen between us. You? She ignored me, quickly swapping her bathrobe for a beige trench coat before shooting me a look. Even if you're not worried about getting caught cheating, I think it would be a headache to explain. I helped that girl once before, so I'd like to maintain a good impression. Oh god. Alright. As she said this, she lifted me up and dashed over to the room's floor-to-ceiling window. Then, without an ounce of hesitation, she crashed through the window and jumped down from the top floor of the hotel, with me in tow. Well, fuck. Behind me, Benny kicked open the wooden door. She was wearing an outfit I'd never seen before, but that face, those eyes, were identical to the Lionheart I knew and cared for. Thank goodness she was okay. Thank goodness. I concealed my urge to cry as Fenny rushed over to the window. She watched as Rosen and I fell through the air, unconsciously raising her gun to take aim. Oh, she's not going to be able to fire, is she? Is she going to be able to fire? Right, but moments later, she changed her mind. You jerk! Give the adjutant back! He is a jerk. The blonde, draped in red, tossed the rifle she was holding aside. She then stepped right through the broken window, stretched out her legs, and began to run down the glass wall of the hotel. Wow, that's pretty awesome. I wish we got to see that. Huh. Wonderful. Rosen showed a sincere smile, completely free of any sarcasm or mockery. She and Hera combined perfectly. More perfectly than any manifestation I've ever seen before. I didn't understand. Do you know what that means? She pinched my cheek, breaking my gaze. Every girl on your Heimdall force is the perfect material from which to craft demiurges. and your existence ensures they won't make any missteps. Their evolution will follow the correct path. Fuck you and your path. Evolution? That is why I need to invite you, Adjutant. Together, we will select individuals who are qualified to exist in the new world, and we will lead them in completing their evolution. Right as we were approaching the ground, you finally told me the real reason behind this visit. Though I wasn't able to completely understand it, it wasn't a bad result. So this is the end for now. I stared at the ground as it grew closer and closer, preparing myself to splatter into a million pieces. Rosen, seemingly aware of this, snorted and laughed. So she just like grabbed everything I've got, all my energy. She embraced me tighter, claiming all of the Tytogen in my body without restraint. She then swung her arm down through the air. A transparent, massive web suddenly appeared below us, firmly suspending us. This is the proper way to use this power, Adjutant. With a single finger, she cut through the web and landed on the ground with me. But before I could even stand up straight, a ghostly figure rushed toward our flank. Life? I shut my eyes amidst the wind as I heard the faint sound of thunder. I instinctively reached up to cover my eyes, but the new arrival suddenly grabbed my hand before I could move. So, we're getting ideas from our enemy, which is good, that's how you learn. Still, fooling around with someone else is par for the course. But is she really your type? Fuck no. I don't stick my dick in crazy. She stood between me and Rosen, her back facing me. With a gun in one hand, she steadily aimed right at Rosen's forehead. Marianne's a different kind of crazy. She's the okay kind of crazy. So there's crazy, and then there's don't stick your dick in crazy. And Marianne is like just crazy. I can deal with masochists. I cannot deal with this thing. Life, how are you feeling? Your treatment. Other than being a little mad, I've never felt better. Oh boy, is she mad at me? She's mad? She turned her head to give me a soft laugh, completely unlike her typical self. Upon seeing her like this, the weight in my heart finally lifted. Perhaps my body and nerves had already been pushed past their breaking point. Or maybe the knowledge that she and Fenny had both made it out unscathed caused me to feel a deep relief. But an intense sense of fatigue swept over me, and I nearly collapsed. So what did this woman do to you? I heard Fenny's roar above me. He pushed off the wall of the hotel building, jumped into the air, and kicked Rose in the head. Good. In an instant, the Heimdall Force's reborn pair of trump cards put a stop to Rosen's plan. They were simply waiting for their chance to give her a beating and force her to surrender, which is not going to happen. She's going to escape. Truly magnificent. Did you see that, Adjutant? They are living, breathing evidence. They are what humans should be like in the age of the demiurges. I agree with Life. Die. Aiming at Rosen, Life pulled the trigger without hesitation. Then, as if she had calculated just how Rosen would dodge, Life simultaneously raised her right leg and kicked her kneecap, forcing her toward Fenny's attack from above. But Rosen merely tilted her head, twisted her waist, and raised an elbow to absorb Fenny's blow. She then immediately charged forward, punching Life in the chest. The impact was so strong that Life's body briefly shot into the air. Shit. Rosen then took this opportunity to grab Penny's calf, leveraging her lower body strength. She swung Fanny in the air, interrupting Fanny's attempt at a leg stranglehold and hurtling her toward Life. Whoa! Wednesday, watch out! Before Fanny slammed into her, Life quickly adjusted her position, spread her arms, and grabbed Fanny to absorb some of the force. But Rosen used this chance to spin around behind me and gain control over me once again. God damn. Can I do something? Fanny, don't do anything reckless. The two girls got back into position. However, their expressions grew serious as they prepared to confront Rosen once again. Looks like this lady knows her stuff. Yeah, but if we try to get the adjutant out of here, she can't stop us by herself. I knew what Life meant. If I ordered them to get me away from Rosen so we could retreat together, we could handle the situation later. I think that might be the only thing we can do. Truth be told, since she and Fanny had both been successfully treated at Heartflow Garden, as far as Yggdrasil was concerned, we had already completed our objectives for this trip to New Hentiro. But unfortunately, my own objective was still incomplete, and I didn't fully understand Rosen's goal. We couldn't retreat. In fact, I had to take it even further. Get me out of here. I glanced at Rosen. Wait, what? I'm with Fanny, huh? Oh, finally made up your mind. I know how to take stock of the situation. Those two can't beat you today. They're only going to get needlessly hurt if they keep fighting, so I'll go with you if you don't harm them. Let them leave New Hentiro safely. You've lost your mind. Poor Fanny. Fanny dashed forward in a flurry, but she was quickly fought off by Rosen. Life, out of concern for my safety, didn't even dare fight back. I couldn't just sit and watch things devolve further. I yelled at Rosen before my operatives could strike again. Hey, hurry up! Stop messing around! The three of them were astonished by my ear-splitting shout. I didn't want to look at the expressions Life and Fanny were making, so I urged Rosen to get me out of there as soon as possible. She also seemingly noticed my unusual behavior. With that, her playful expression disappeared from her face as she lightly sprinted toward the helipad at the edge of the island. Please, you two, trust me. Life and Fanny's shouts echoed behind me. I silently recited the plea I couldn't vocalize. I watched on as they chased behind us, suddenly blocked by a cluster of humanoid monsters that appeared out of nowhere before they vanished from my sight. Damn. So we're still in enemy clutches. Why aren't we leaving? Didn't you say you were inviting me to join you? What's going on here? After some time, Rosen stopped on the helipad. I couldn't help speaking up as I looked at our empty surroundings, but she maintained a cold face, pursing her lips as she silently stared at me. Is that what's happening here? You purposefully distracted me, right? She furrowed her brow, taking slow steps toward me. Am I free to walk? I'm surprised she's not restraining me. I could feel something was off from the beginning, but it wasn't as obvious then. I know you like adventure, but you wouldn't do anything without proper preparation. You wouldn't put your life on the line so easily either. Maybe I should change the way I've been interpreting your behavior, Adjutant. You weren't being straight with me before you made sure that those two girls were safe. Oh, so she caught on. Now that you are sure they're fine, you found a way to get me away and create a brief opportunity for us two to be alone. Oh, damn. She really is a smart cookie. Then you'll provoke me, trying to get more information out of me before finally tricking me into killing you. Does that sound about right? What? What? Tin Can? Kageneko, what? I'm gonna try to trick her into killing me? Listen to yourself. You're spouting complete nonsense. Don't worry about it. I am worried. Bro, this isn't a mind game. This is a mind fuck. No, not at all. It isn't nonsense. This probably happened before. And it has happened more than once. The fuck is she talking about? I couldn't stop myself from taking a step back every time she spoke. Who is this mommy? This mommy is like one of our ultimate villains. Taiwan Ping Lord. Also, welcome. There is nothing left behind me but empty space. Maybe I shouldn't have underestimated the way you learned to use Taitogen. Or maybe I shouldn't have ignored the connection between you, New Hentiro, and Genghis. Is your heart really that distrustful? I already agreed to play right into your hand, and you still... Oh shit. She didn't give me a chance to finish my sentence before grabbing me by the throat and slowly lifting me. Do you know why I'm seeing you in a new light, Adjutant? 'Cause he's got Riz? Other than the fact that we share so many similar experiences, circumstances, and methods, it's also because we both have the same hardwired habit that's impossible to change, do we now? If it's something we're curious about, something we want to know, we'll be patient, seeing it out to the very end. Boy. My brain began to go blank as I suffocated, and my vision grew blurry. Even so, her angry brow and invigorating grin were clearly engraved in my mind, and I'm gonna be unconscious, aren't I? I told you, I want you as my counterpart. I want you to genuinely join me, bringing your girls along to become part of this. So until you abandon these little schemes of yours, I'm willing to be patient and see this out to the end. Are you going to disappoint me? No, I'm going to kill you. So she just dropped me from the sky. You stupid wench. What did... I think that's obvious. They already took care of the monsters and caught up with us. This time, I'm so sorry for what I did to them. I didn't tell them anything. Didn't let them help with anything. Everything up until now was probably all I could handle on my own. Rosen has been our enemy, pulling the strings behind the former board members. It seems like she was using the isolated floating island of New Hentiro as a cage away from the outside world, where she could persuade us to surrender. She is a dangerous madwoman, but she is just as rational as I am. No, it might be even more accurate to call her vigilant. I still don't know what the connection between her and the storm cutting off New Hentiro is, and I have no idea what the demiurges she mentioned before are referring to either. I really want to figure out. Wish I could have manipulated a little more, but unfortunately time has run out. We're so transformed, then at least time has run out. So, wait, what? What? God, that moved so fast I could barely read it. What just happened? Pissing me off. Sweet mother of God. That's another thing they need to do. They need a... He died. I'm gonna be calling your BS here. Tin Can. I'm gonna be calling your BS. Not about Kagineko though. I can't tell. I can't tell if you're being truthful or not, but Tin Can, you are definitely my strings. The atmosphere was intangible and silent, quiet enough to hear a pin drop. The girl was curled up in an exquisite chair. Arms hugged her legs as she stared straight at the floor. Bathed in light from the ceiling, she raised her head and gazed at the dark shadow seated across the table. Then she began to speak as if she was trapped in a dream.
It was a year ago.
Oh!
Yeah, almost
Damn.
a year ago.
We actually get voice acting
I
in
remember
here.
it was a cloudy day. There was no sun, and it was foggy. You were wrapped up like a rice dumpling. He wasn't any better off. He was all loopy, holed up in a beat-up escape pod. You know, even though I've lost to you so many times...
Yep, I'm at this part. Welcome, Cal.
Of course, when there were more people later on, I didn't only lose to you. But there's one thing I'm completely confident in. I've always had it, and no one can compete with it. My sense of fashion.
She is very fashionable. She is very, very fashionable.
I don't know if it's because this world is too bland, or maybe I'm just obsessed with glamour, but I like to wear things that make me look radiant, more eye-catching. I make sure every single detail, from head to toe, contributes to a look I can be proud of. I think it helps cheer me up. I feel like I can face anything. Lioness. That's how they describe me, right? It's somehow caught on as a nickname, but I've only ever seen electronic projections. I don't even know what a real lion feels like. You know something? He once promised me he'd find a real lion for me to touch someday. What did he say again? When you see it, you'll know how others view you. He also said it would make me more determined to be my authentic self, and I'd change from a little girl to a... It's nonsense. Why would I care what anyone else thinks of me? Besides, what could I possibly learn from an extinct animal?
I feel like
He's
my
a
place has
dummy,
been taken.
a liar, and full of it. At first, he was super dull and honest. When people tried to take advantage of him, he was too gentle. I don't even know what he was hesitant about.
I don't either.
I couldn't stop worrying about him, and I tried a bunch of ways to make him open up. He could have just gone along with it, but he pulled away and was really distant. Just thinking about it pisses me off. But after we spent a lot of time together, his real personality came out. It turned out he knew exactly what was going on the whole time. He was completely certain when it was time to take
This
action
is
against
inside the
someone.
adjutant.
He's fierce and vengeful. A man conceals countless thoughts in a single day. Living like that is exhausting and twisted. I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to stand up for him, but he'd rather continue suffering, and he came over to stop me. He sounded all holier than thou, talking about family, protection, and taking shelter. It was so corny.
So the
He got
adjutant's
his
corny.
hands dirty behind the scenes, but he pushed us to the forefront to take all the credit. Fame, pride, honor. I like all those things. But why didn't he understand? I wanted him more than meaningless praise like that. Sacrifice yourself for someone who understands you, and make yourself beautiful for someone who appreciates you.
So their
After accepting this new position and title,
their way of
Time Doll's lion
hand
head,
waving away
I'll
what
never
happened
lose
in the
to anyone
previous
ever
chapters is
again.
he knew all along. He just knew all along. He knew, and he was just acting for reasons. I mean, it's kind of a weak argument, but I get they needed to do something. And honestly speaking, I don't know if they could have done anything else if they were making a major shift in direction for the game.
But that victory is thanks to him rushing ahead of us, facing off against increasingly dangerous enemies in my place, all the way up until today. Hey, Wednesday, Can't you say something? Don't make me talk to myself, alright?
Where the
don't
fuck even
want
are
people to
they?
think I'm some old hag who can't shut up.
What do you want me to say?
She suddenly spoke up from the shadows, her cold voice full of unquestionable authority.
We just lost the adjutant, right?
Honestly, it might be a little more than a double-edged sword. Like, it's hard to ignore, but I can't really rationalize it. So I just gotta sort of roll with it, and I don't know.
You and we just watched that woman toss the adjutant into...
Yes, that's right. Rose and Corena threw the adjutant off the floating city right before our eyes.
How did this happen?
You tell me.
It's because I wasn't strong enough. I didn't react fast enough, and I was too late to save the adjutant from that hotel.
Correct. You were slow. You couldn't stop Rosen from taking him.
Was
Jid.
it because I don't have the same power you do? So I couldn't fight my way through and rescue him from the enemy just now?
Yes. You got held up by those grunts and lost your rhythm.
Did I just lose? I lost.
You lost. When it came to the most important thing, you lost.
Shit. God damn. And the girl didn't understand how the person in front of her could lay out the truth so plainly. Even just sitting before her, Fanny could sense the imminent anger and pain of the person opposite her. She should have been even more heartbroken, filled with even more madness than Fanny at that moment.
Are you Life or Odin right now?
How about you? Are you Fenny Golden?
She felt as if her throat had suddenly been stopped by a cork. This question left her speechless.
Do you know what I'm wondering right now? I'm wondering where we are. What are we doing here? What are we waiting for?
I'm wondering the same thing.
Is that important?
It is.
Really important?
Really important. Only by confronting what has happened and facing your deepest fears can you discover the truth.
Listening to her talk and reading this dialogue is so weird because they're not even remotely the same. I'm assuming there was like a huge rewrite when they decided to give her a voice actor, and somehow or other they just kept the original subtitles.
I don't understand.
I don't either. So we need the one who does understand to come out and explain it to us in person.
Who's that, Rosen? Eyes wide and back straight, she emerged from the shadows engulfing her. She then used lightning to instantly illuminate the dark, obscure area in front of her.
You've played dead long enough, brat.
Oh, it's fucking Etta! Dear God, this girl. Life's intimidation caused the petite girl to reveal herself. As she walked into the light, Fanny suddenly went limp, falling out of her chair and disappearing instantaneously.
What did you do to Fenny?
It's possible. Then that's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that the text or the dialogue was, if not retranslated, then adapted to have a better flow. But they didn't update the in-game text.
Nothing. I'm just letting her sleep for a bit. It seems like you've completely tamed Odin. Fenny isn't like you. She hasn't found the right relationship between herself and Hera. So, to save myself the trouble, I'm only going to explain this to someone who understands.
Enveloped in a faint blue glow, Etta rested her hands behind her back, slowly and casually pacing in front of Life.
I know you're not the Etta from Misteltein Station, but I don't care what you are. If you're here, that means the adjutant is most likely still alive. Tell
Kinda
me where
figured.
he is.
She was holding back her anger, but the little girl in front of her obviously didn't catch on. More like the little girl in front of her doesn't
Wow,
give a damn.
That's incredible. You can actually see the relationship between me and him.
Please tell me
Watch
you're
your
gonna
mouth.
choke her. I agree.
Even your personality changed after taming Odin. Aren't you afraid he won't like you anymore?
Good. God. Jeez. I'm not gonna lie, Edda's kind of fucking annoying. Life reached out, gripping her throat without a trace of mercy. She slowly moved her face closer to ensure the person in her grasp understood her intentions.
I said, watch your mouth.
I agree, watch your fucking mouth.
You know what I want to hear. So tell me what I want to hear. Understand?
He's still alive.
Okay, but where?
Where?
Her grip grew somewhat tighter. Kagineko, your sarcasm is not appreciated here. Actually, it is. So I don't know which Edda this is. The only Edda I like is the one that becomes human and hopefully joins the Heimdall force. This Edda right here, she's a brat. Needs correction. I'm very glad that life is choking her out. She deserves it. I don't like her. She's annoying. Her grip grew tighter, but his face went ashen. Oh, so this one is Sapphire. So she's just a bitch right now. That's annoying. I guess after she goes through proper brat correction, she becomes an ally. That makes a lot of sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me. And the tip of her tongue began to poke through her lips and teeth.
Down on the floating city's Sky Island base.
Who's her voice actress? Well, it was a valuable answer. Life relaxed her grip somewhat, but she continued questioning Edda with her
The
gaze.
tree and Kuru is spreading towards this floating city. The Titagen has already overrun the entire Sky Island base. He's submerged in it now, too.
Who is responsible for this? You or Rosen?
Probably
He
Rosen.
did it himself.
Oh, so I'm responsible for this, motherfucker. What am I thinking?
He did it himself.
Life watched as the girl slowly lost the ability to struggle, her hands and feet drooping weakly. She then finally relaxed her grip on Edda and let go of the stubborn unease deep within her heart.
So this place or time doesn't exist in the real world, but it isn't Valhalla. Where are we?
Adjutant's mind?
It's a space within his consciousness. He created it by modeling it after Valhalla. If he hadn't messed up, you and Hera would still be lying in the treatment pod right now.
So wait, because I fucked up, they awoke?
That guy is seriously crazy. He's willing to go to any lengths to help you guys.
Why is she saying all
Adjutant.
this?
What is he planning?
Ask him yourself. Let me go. He told me a while ago to wake him up around now.
So wait, I asked her, this crazy girl, to wake me up?
And he's going to find a way back to this floating city to awaken you and Hera.
It sounded entirely impossible, but it was seemingly the only reasonable explanation, considering the circumstances.
I have so many reasons to kill you. I could do it right now.
Everything I said is the truth. He has a plan to handle all of the other players at the table. The only thing he's worried about is you and Hera.
Why is she
So
calling
he asked
Fenny
me to keep
Hera?
an eye on you guys. There isn't much time left. He's going to be in big trouble if he stays connected to the tree's branch much longer. If you really were able to tame Odin and you weren't assimilated into your Dewas,
So
please.
Dewas.
let me go.
Tears filled the girl's glowing eyes. Perhaps it was a sincere plea rather than one of her usual tricks.
Life Besla, Fenny Golden. If you are going to help the adjutant, you should address the people around him properly from now on.
Yes, I know that. I'm just wondering why she was calling them by their deity names instead of their actual names. She released her hand, allowing the girl to fall to the floor. Sufficiently humiliated, the girl raised her head to meet life's exceedingly indifferent gaze, like looking down upon a servant. She was well aware of what this look meant. Life Besla, who could even tame a god, had a new identity. And if Etta wanted to continue sticking with the adjutant and furthering her own interests, she had no choice but to accept it. Now, it was time to wake him up.
Hey! Wake up!
You know, I've always wanted to be woken up by a cute girl. Original plan A was to take. That is true. Though I assume that was Rosen's plan more than Etta's. Etta alarm clock. Honestly speaking, if I was gonna be woken up by a cute girl, I'd rather it be Fenny, Life, or Katya. But we can't always get what we want. It's a very, very sad thing. He used everything he had learned thus far to set an extraordinary trap, making calculations for everyone, including himself.
Acting, huh? He took it too far.
Now, it's time for him to wake up and crawl back.
Hey, you! Wake up!
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the first episode of Data Live where you're woken up by your little sister, or where, not you, but where the protagonist is woken up by his little sister. Except she jumps on his stomach. Hope that doesn't happen to us. It's time for his enemies and admirers alike to get a closer look at who he really is. So who he really is, oh my. So, is this like the moment, the shift here? Shit, look at all this we've got. We still have a long way to go. Oh, you've read Data Live. I haven't read the light novels. I've watched the anime. Probably one of the better ones in my opinion. I don't know how exactly I feel about Ichika? Is that his name? Ichika. Ichika? Ha. Nope, I am incorrect. Shido. Shido Itsuka. Ichika is Infinite Stratos. Not gonna lie, I get a lot of harem protagonist names mixed up. Even though I actually hate Ichika Orimura, I think that's why I remember him so well, because I absolutely despise him as a protagonist. He's literally everything I hate about protagonists. Whereas Itsuka Shido is sort of like an in-between. And there are times where he frustrates the crap out of me, and times where I'm like, I think he's actually pretty cool. He gets better. Like, I remember watching the last season, it was season 4 or 5. I thought he got a lot better, a lot cooler at the end there. When I awoke, it felt like my head was filled with mush. I am willing to take any necessary risks to protect New Hentiro. So please do not worry, Visitor Genu. Simply use me as a tool within your plan. Adjutant? Ugh. Calm down. You almost put fragmented Titagen into her body. So that was a part of my plan. maybe. A rush of chaotic, disorganized information overwhelmed my mind. Please use me as bait. I'll be your trump card. Just throw me out. You like that idea, don't you, Marianne? Adjutant, we now have reason to suspect that the Sky Island base supporting New Hentiro has been... Oh, these are like just all fragmented memories. Yeah, I actually like that idea as well. One thing I'm thinking about is I'm actually thinking about writing a story with a similar power setup where the protagonist can use the powers of like women that he has bonded with, aka women that he slept with, in order to gain powers himself. And then like they share power. But I haven't come up with like a good story idea for it. So it's just like the power system. You need to be careful. There's more than meets the eye with some of these locals. There's a bartender, a tall woman. She knows who I am, my identity. I, Rosen Quarena, your counterpart, your kind, extend the most sincere invitation to you. Bruh, Negima was a mindfuck. That series, like, the anime was garbage, but the manga was freaking wild. And then you go on to like the sequel series, UQ Holder, and it's even weirder. Which fight are you talking about in Negima, by the way? Ah, right. I'm reclaiming the memories I personally experienced. All of the information I had learned, all the skills I had mastered, allowed me to make a bold attempt after defeating Pi. They said, for someone like me, sometimes, most of the time, making mistakes was inevitable and necessary. So was there a way for me to make mistakes, learn enough from our enemy lurking behind the curtain, and then head back to reality with a better understanding after experiencing everything? That's why I said, you're crazy. Using Tytogen to... I'm assuming I used Tytogen to either erase or suppress my memories. Yeah, I was crazy. But to deal with someone even crazier, even more bloodthirsty than me, I had no other choice. As I continued to regain consciousness, I completely relaxed my nerves, allowing the dense Tytogen to flow into my body along the tree's branches. Ah. Yes. I remember that one. That was a pretty fucking crazy battle. You're talking about, so the princess, I think you're talking about Konoha? Was that Konoha? God, there are so many girls in Negima. But I think that's who you're talking about. You're either talking about Konoha or like Asuka. Or Ayaka? I think it's Asuka. Negima, Asuna. This one, I think. You know what? I have the entire manga series on my bookshelf. I really should reread that. It was my projection that I'd made using Tytogen, as well as all of the information it had collected at the cost of its life. So okay, so I get it now. The adjutant that had been up in New Hentiro was not the adjutant. It was a projection that he created using Tytogen. And as it vanished, all of its memories and everything basically returned to him. So it's similar to like a shadow clone from Naruto. Do you even know how many times you have done this? Just look at yourself now. So I've done this a lot. Even this horrible girl couldn't stand looking at me. I must have been quite the sight. More than that. Okay, I'm assuming I'm gonna learn just how bad this exactly is. Right. It's like my entire being was sentenced to some kind of punishment, soaking in the titagen of the new Hentiro Sky Island base. Almost every inch of my skin was closely connected to the tree that was spreading there. I was just like an unlucky soul in a myth, captured by a man-eating tree demon that sucks all of the fluid out of his body. Every time I made another attempt, my body became more tightly entwined with the tree. I'm sad that we now no longer have the voice acting. So, what are you going to do now? You want to do it again? I'm wondering how we do this again. Like, we can't rewind time, can we? When did you start to care about me so much? And why do you look so upset? You look like you just got slapped in the face. Is someone bullying you? No. Mind your own, your own business. Whatever. Oh, pull me out. You're going to try it yourself this time? Okay, so it is Groundhog's Day. So we're just repeating the same days over and over again. I already did everything I could alone. There was no point in trying again. It didn't matter how many times I took a risk to protect them. The Heimdall force would have to solve the problem together sooner or later. The little brat hovering in mid-air bit her lower lip and looked at me with a bitter expression. I didn't understand why she was making a face like that, and thankfully she wouldn't explain it. Hurry up. It's so hot. As I hurried her, she still hesitated for a moment before finally making up her mind and using her powers to peel the branches off my body. That sounds like it would hurt. After a series of cracking noises that sounded like bones snapping, my body gradually separated from the tree. Naturally, it was extremely painful. But at that moment, the pain helped me wake up. Are you just going to walk back? Yep, I'm just going to walk back. Step by step, I walked along the Sky Island base's steep outer wall toward New Hentiro. This city used to be a paradise, a land hidden in the clouds, isolated from the rest of the world. But now, whether by my enemies or me, everything that would happen between us, our confrontation, may lead this place to a point of no return. The growing tree plus storms from the eye into my pocket. Ah! I'm assuming this gets explained in the story as well. So, I needed to experience its vastness with my own two legs, feel it for myself, and remember it. That was the most basic respect someone could hold for this utopian creation. It doesn't. Okay. So you just piece it together. Who are you saying all that for? You don't like it? But you're listening, and you understand it. Stop talking to yourself over there. You're like Genghis. As a supercomputer, its design didn't include any code necessarily requiring it to cooperate. But it did decide to cooperate. Helped me. Without it, without the inspiration sourced from the realms, I never would have been able to manage what I'd just done. You know that you two are essentially the same thing, right? Don't harry that hunk of junk. Its capabilities are limited, relegated to managing a city. I might be a clone of my host system, but you still can't compare me with that idiotic buckethead. Wow, she is very angry. I like that he's riling her up. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying you both have your own set of directives. It should be easier for both of you to stick to such principles than humans. But you both allowed an exception for me. You helped me. In that way, you and Ganges are the same. The moment you made your own choice, the moment you even thought about making your own choice, you both changed. Making sacrifices for that choice, taking risks for that choice, standing in opposition to others, your directives, possibilities, and everything you should have obeyed. That's not something AI is programmed to do. That's just human nature. As I talked to myself, I felt encouraged. I then raised my head and looked up at New Hentiro. Bring it on, Rosen. Let's stand up for our own choices and fight to the death. I wonder when he gets his new exosuit. Ah, Captain Haru, you're back. So... When Haru walked into the medical bay, she found Cirrus standing inside. Li Shui, who had been seriously injured by the assassin, was submerged in a serum. Her eyes were closed, and she wasn't moving. How is she? She's stable, but still unconscious. Contents of the bullet were exactly as you predicted. Alright, 3 chapters from now. I wonder why it took so long to get it for him to get it. Operation Breakpoint. It's the same as the bullets that hit Life and the adjutant. Seems like the assassin back then wasn't sent by Omega. From the beginning, it's always been Quarena. And I'm sure Rosen is keenly aware of the difference between that kind of bullet hitting ordinary people and us. Good point. If Omega had such a talented assassin, he would have sent them to handle Director Tao right away. Oh, so literally like the part that I didn't get to play. Where is Director Tao? In her office. I'm sorry, Captain Haru. I didn't mean to leave her. Before Cirrus could even finish speaking, Haru had already pushed open the door and walked out. Cirrus glanced at the unconscious Li Shui with a concerned look, then quickly followed after Haru. You're in danger. No matter what happens, you should at least have a Heimdall operative protecting you. The office door was open. Cirrus could easily hear Haru's angry voice echoing outward. They were bold enough to infiltrate the containment zone, killing someone right under our noses. Counting Operation Breakpoint, this is now the 2nd time, and this has caused just as much trouble as last time. Li Shui and her Beowulf Battalion's mission, Beowulf Unit Hat, to escort the Queen into the containment zone was a secret. We have no idea how the intel leaked or how the assassin got in. If the military asks, we won't be able to explain. They're already asking. Tao switched on the projector on her desk, showing in Haru and Cirrus the message she had just received. All of the coyotes neutralized in Yaris were killed. This was the only thing left at the scene. Esther. Right. The administration of the military-occupied zone in Yaris is already asking how we control movement in and out of Containment Zone Aleph. They're clearly accusing us of something, right? The goldfish's words caught in her throat as she saw the next batch of information. Besides the coyotes, the military researchers responsible for Tytogen disaster prevention, in addition to several of General Adrian's chiefs of staff, were all assassinated. Essentially, almost every individual in the military who played a key role in researching and combating Tytogen was systematically killed in the past few hours. So now they can claim Yggdrasil has a monopoly on Tytogen research and use it to tarnish our image in the face of other groups or organizations. Exactly. And this is all Rosen's doing? That doesn't make sense. As long as we can treat Li Shushui, she'll stand up for us. Looks like you've learned how to think about things from a new perspective after spending so much time with Ginu. If Rosen Quarena planned this, what's her true purpose behind it all? Isolate and demonize Yggdrasil? And then what? Other than giving us a bad reputation and making it harder for us to combat Tytogen in various locations, what else would it achieve? The Adjutant. What is it, Captain Haru? She wants the Adjutant. The Adjutant is a world-saving hero, but Yggdrasil is a dirty organization attempting to dominate Tytogen research. She's driving a wedge between the company and the Adjutant. Director Tao, I'm afraid we need to extract the Adjutant from New Hentiro as soon as possible. If that really is Rosen's goal, New Hentiro isn't just a trap for the Adjutant, it's a stage. I have considered it. It's already too late. Well, yep. It's been too late from the very beginning. New Hentiro has already disappeared. Oh, so there we go. So it's like in a space pocket or bubble. Director Tao, I don't understand. Our operatives on the front lines in Kuru reported that the tree has become more active than the previous one in Yaris. A massive amount of Tytogen is resonating with the storm. I just tried to share the intel you collected with Agave, my Levitane operative, but it's clear that our call was out of sync. Ah, this woman. I investigated her before. She's the other director who fled to Kuru with Pai. Right. The goldfish stared at the face of the unfamiliar woman depicted in the hologram in front of her, muttering to herself. She isn't a director. She created a fake identity with fabricated information, knowing you and Marianne would track her down. So who is she? That's what I want to know. Yeah, then who is she? Hi, secretary. Secretary. Yeah, her secretary. She's kind of like me. Wears fancy glasses, a neat uniform, and follows her master around robotically, willing to help her solve every problem that comes their way. Once more, I stood in the Monument Square outside Heartflow Garden. Agave stood beside me with fancy glasses and a neat uniform, just like she'd said. She was reporting all of the intel she had learned with an enraptured expression. I had contacted her as soon as I returned to New Hentiro. After speaking with her, I determined my position on the timeline was right after I had taken Fenny to the Heartflow Garden treatment pod. What happened before this was generally similar to my memory, and she filled in the gaps for me during the time I was captured by Rosen. In all of my hard work, Anime Hero Gamer fan, hey, how you doing? I'd attempted almost every possibility. No matter what I did, I couldn't stop Marianne and Katya from being captured. If we didn't intervene when Quarena invaded the Skyport, everything would only get worse. No one would make it out alive. But based on what you're saying about Rosen, she probably won't do anything to harm the other operatives before she completely wins you over, right? I'm doing pretty good. You're actually catching me at nearly the end of my stream. At this for 3 hours, so I am going to log off really soon, I think, after this. But it's good to see you. blindly assuming you know your enemy well enough to speculate on their behavior was extremely foolish. I knew she just wanted to comfort me, but I would rather she not say anything at all. Maybe. Back to the secretary. What happened to her? The secretary. I followed your order to check over everyone who entered New Hentiro since the incident in Yaris to see if anyone had a connection with that bar. Any connection with Rosen Quarena. That secretary came to New Hentiro even earlier than Pai. Less than 2 weeks after the incident in Yaris, there were already traces of her movements here. I monitored some of her communication with the locals and discovered what she was doing in New Hentiro had something to do with her old job. Old job? I'm actually a little curious. Yeah. Her full name is Kim Ah-yeon. That's Korean if I'm not mistaken. She was a historical and theological researcher before she became Pai's secretary. Basically a priestess. Do you think Secretary Kim is trying to spread some kind of faith in New Hentiro? Aha! Looks like you're seriously exhausted. Is your brain totally fried or something? She suddenly turned away, pulled off her glasses, and rubbed her eyes. After a moment, she regained her typical calm demeanor and looked at me with a smile. Question, Mr. Adjutant. What's in here? Here? Here. She suddenly grabbed my hand, pressing her fingers up against her forehead. A brain? Delusions? He knows her well. Theotropic nerves. He looks a little irritated. At this close distance, she discarded her playful expression, using a composed and dangerous look to remind me of her identity. Why do manifestations have theotropic nerves? After these theotropic nerves are completely eroded by Taitogen, why is the person completely taken over by a god? To be honest, before you told me what that woman, Rosen, said about the descent of the demiurges, I had no idea our Secretary Kim was doing and what our Secretary Kim was doing in that bar every day. But now, everything is obvious. She let go of my hand, shifted sideways, and tilted her head to gaze at the huge statue of Genghis far away above the main island. Please think carefully about my question again. Maybe what happened back then is exactly what's happening now. As a former member of the board, I was deeply involved with the creation and regular operation of the Heimdall Force. She knew about the connection between manifestations and their Dewas. She was aware of the truth. As an expert hacker and daughter of the creator of Genghis, she knew that its capabilities were on par with Edda's to a certain extent. She also deliberately brought along a secretary proficient in geology and history. And pulling the strings behind them was Rosen Quarena, with sufficient forces and a familiarity with Taitogen. They want to replicate the process of creating manifestations, to birth new life forms that obey their every command. Yes, and they're already doing it. That thing? The one who tried to seduce me in the hotel room. And the ones who stopped Life and Fenny when Rosen took me away. You know what? I just realized her powers allow people to see the future, according to her. Just noting that. I'm fairly certain that she has something to do with how the adjutant was able to repeat events over and over again. A demiurge handmaiden. That's what I heard over the surveillance, Adjutant. Where is that secretary now? On the outer eco island across from us. There's a prototype server there that's been sustaining Ganges' standby performance for decades. It's perfect for uploading batches of malicious data to Ganges' operations center. But I did what you told me to before. I kept Nozomi and Modak in the Tower of Hanoi to maintain Ganges' current functionality. Secretary Kim is going to have to put in more effort to reach her goal. Finally, we're gaining on them. Right, Mr. Adjutant, but I think we forgot something else. Oh? She suddenly hesitated. Couldn't stop myself from glancing over at her, and I realized she was nervously fidgeting with her fingers. Something concerning seemed to be troubling her. Either this is going to be a very serious moment, or we're going to get, like, her delusions again. What's wrong? The timing. If everything happens according to what you've experienced so far, even if you don't go to the bar looking for Rosen this time, her soldiers will still launch an attack here, right? As she said this, she pulled out the pale string she was armed with, creating a small frame with it before my eyes. Just be careful about using too many emotes. I think Twitch does something if you emote too many times. I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that. Just be careful. They're close, Mr. Adjutant. If at all possible, I don't want to make a fool of myself trying to fight those enemies in front of you. And I don't want you to have to face off against those bloodthirsty renegades alone. So can you please... Hey! Don't touch me. I'm really sensitive right now. What am I doing? Before she had finished speaking, I reached out to grab her wrist, flipping the frame around and pointing it at her face. Look closely and you'll know why I'm staying here. And you'll know the conditions I'm waiting for. Agave was stunned. With an awkward expression, she stared at the scene displayed in the frame that was destined to take place in the real world. Is this the bond you share with the two of them? She's talking about Fenny and Life, right? Yep. Damn. They're both looking good. I will say that smile does it for me, though. All right, Adjutant. You've used a bunch of schemes in the past to trick enemies, but now you have the nerve to trick me and Wednesday? And you have the nerve to run off with another woman in front of what? Is she talking to us? How are you going to make it up to me? Life, do you feel that way too? Hey! If she wants you to make it up to her, you'd better agree, Adjutant. Anyway, she wouldn't harm a single hair on your head. She might be a lioness, but she's tamer than a kitten after a little convincing. Right, Fenny? I don't know. I think this is the point where the Adjutant actually shows off his Chad abilities. Bro's not going to be able to walk straight for a month. Actually, considering the direction they're going, he's probably going to make it so they can't walk straight for a month. Enough of this gang up on me. I'm so mad I want to hit someone. Hey, is it just me or is she missing a hip right here? Like, I'm looking at this little curved area and I feel like that should be a hip. But there's nothing there. What a coincidence. I feel the same. Taming Odin isn't something that brings me happiness. And neither does your risky behavior from before, Adjutant. I don't know. Like I'm I'm looking at this right here, and you can see her hair. Like that's just nothing there. I don't know. Maybe I know I'm just splitting hairs, but something about there not being like skin right there just bothers me. So now, I really want to find an outlet for my anger. Hey, Mr. Number One Guy, say something. What should I say? Move out. Get rid of them, then we'll stop Rosen. Let's see how much more I've got to go here. Okay, so we've got returning. At progress 7, returning. Oh no, so comeback, anomaly, progress 8, collaboration. Yeah, there's a lot more to go. So we're gonna end it here. We're at progress 56. So I think we're doing good. 56% is a good amount of progress to make. So we'll just claim all this stuff. What am I doing here? I'm gonna go to my daily pass. Get all this. Get my rewards. This is a very long update. I feel like the amount of chapters and content has increased per chapter. The amount of content per chapter has increased. It should be. Oh. The newest chapters. You're talking about Beyond Elysium. Right? If you are talking about Beyond Elysium, then yes, it should be entirely voiced in English. I'm gonna exit. Yeah, no, well, and so, starting from chapter 14, part 2, everything has been entirely voiced. So we should get, I think from this point on, everything will be in English now, or everything will be voiced in whatever language you want to listen to, but English for me, because that's what I'm going to be listening to. Ugh. Alright, though. I'm gonna head out. I actually have to do some cooking. Oh! I got a body pillow. I can't show it to you guys because it's NSFW. It doesn't have anything relevant, but I think I do. I think I want to complete the story. Just go all the way through. Or at least get to the part where I started before I do Beyond Elysium. But I'll figure out what to do. Before I go, I guess I can show you guys this. I can't show you this not safe for work one. But yeah, well, after this, I only need to do chapter 14, part 1. And then I will be completely where I was originally. So figured I'd show you guys this before I head off. This is gonna be something that is available for sale. It is a Lillian body pillow. There will be a not safe for work version of this body pillow. I don't know how many of you actually buy body pillows. I think they did. I think my artist, she did a really good job with this. Very sexy. Thank you. It's a little unfortunate that our other guy has that Arceus isn't here, because he would have liked this, I think. All right. That is it for me. I'll be heading out. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Doggy Neko, Cal, Tin Can, Anime Hero Gamer Fan. I don't know if Taiwan Ping Lord is here, but if he is, thank you for joining me again. Arceus. Appreciate him coming in as well. Yep, thank you all for joining me. You take care. You take care as well, Cal. And we're here, Gamer Fan. You also have a great day. If you guys have not joined, I know Tin Can has, but if anybody else has not joined my Discord, please do. I'm trying to fill that place up with more conversation, since I feel like the social media is getting a little too negative these days. So if you want to, feel free to join up with me. Here's a link to the Discord. I try my best to be active there, so definitely ping me. We can talk about Snowbreak. Tin Can's been helping me a lot. So you guys have a great day, and I will... Yes, we need more Chads in Discord. But you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Catch you later.